All right. What up with it, Q hollering at you?
Sure. Arch Nemesis.
Your boy Buck Crizzer in the building. Buck plays no games. What up?
Alright, so better late than never. As you can see from the title, we're going to be talking about Sinners today. It's going to be a spoiler review because we going all the way through that thing. But right off the bat, I say go check it out if you ain't seen it. Worth seeing. Don't look too much into what's going on. Just go watch it.
I'd say the same. Just go watch the movie. It's pretty good. It's definitely an interesting watch. Yeah. Don't listen to what a lot of people say. Just go see the movie.
This man said pretty good. Don't listen to what this man said right here. To me, it's the movie of the year, man. I ain't got to see no other movie. I ain't got to see no other movie. You know what I mean? Like,
I got a couple other movies.
You must go see it, especially if you're. Yeah.
Here we go.
I'm just saying. Yeah, you got to see it.
So right off the bat, you got our quick review. Go check it out if you ain't seen it. 100% worth it. Now we're going to revisit the trailer. Watch it with fresh eyes now that we've seen it. I give my thoughts of what I thought, when I first saw the trailer. Y'all let me know what y'all thought as well. The trailer, that already had me interested right there. Him shaking while he was rolling up his tobacco and all that, you know what I'm saying? That was hard. I like that intro. Like, what did he see that made him, react like that? You know what I'm saying? Michael B. Jordan did his thing on that. Y'all got any thoughts on that earlier? Reason I'm slow. Maybe I didn't see this trailer, but I don't remember seeing Michael B. Jordan hugging Michael B. Jordan.
Yo,
exactly. I don't remember seeing it.
I did see it. I did see that in the trailer. I saw
that trailer. Because we did a reaction, didn't we? Did we react to this trailer?
No, we didn't react to this trailer. We should have. We should have.
In a great way, though. Just to add a note to it, I had no idea that Michael B. Jordan was playing two characters in this movie.
Yeah.
I had no clue.
Me neither.
I don't know if I saw it and forgot or if I just didn't see it at all, but I was like, oh.
I remember seeing, I only watched this particular trailer, and I said after this trailer, I'm like, I'm not watching any more trailers because I don't want them to ruin this movie for me. I'm going to see it. Or I was still on the fence of whether I was wanting to go to theaters to see it or wait until it came out to see it. And then I talked to you about it. And that kind of made me go, all right, I'm going to go see this in theaters.
Yeah, we had seen it earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah, watching it now with fresh eyes, I'm like, I don't know if I remember seeing that. Because when I was in the theater and they showed two of them, I said, nigga, what the hell going on here? What's going on?
When I first saw the trailer, I'm like you. I didn't even notice that it was two Michael B. Jordans. But the thing that grabbed me about the trailer was, like, I'm all for black excellence and stuff like that, and supporting black actors, black movies.
Never wrote that.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, I knew from the jump that I was going to go see it. I had to go see it.
Okay. And then from Ryan Coogler.
Right.
But you don't even really think about it if you don't know right offhand, man. Right.
In the context of that scene, now knowing what was going on at that scene, it was like, oh, shit.
But yeah, man, with that, this is one of the few cases, in my opinion, where the movie was just as good, if not better, than the trailer. Because, sometimes even bad movies can have good trailers. A trailer is like a mini movie. This whole job is to get you to want to see it. So I love watching trailers in general, because the sorry-ass movie could have a great trailer. You're like, oh, that look interesting. And you go see, you be like, bro, you got me. You got me. You got me. But I got an early quick question for y'all before we get into this thing. What, as we all from the South, we all Southerners, hence 864 boys. What did y'all think about Michael B. Jordan's Southern accent? Did you think he was really laying that on? Now, this was in a different time, too.
Yeah, there were moments where it felt a little thick, but at the same time, it was like, yeah.
How can you say that, though, when back in those times, like, the Southern accent was probably really that damn thick?
That's why I'm saying, because, again, you have to look at it from that time period.
I agree. I'm with you on that. At first, I was like, God damn. But people might hear this and say, that's exactly what y'all sound like.
Right.
Because I talk to different people from different areas. We all know people from different places. And they be like, nah, to our ears, that's how y'all sound.
Yeah.
Remember, I lived out west. So a lot of times when people would bring up the South, my wife says it happens to me all the time. My accent comes out a little bit more defined when I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
And it would be more prevalent, I guess, like how Southern I was.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of those things where it's like the accent is there, and if you're not looking for it, you can't tell.
Yeah, and it depends on who you talking to.
Right.
Like, we talking to each other, then it's going to get real thick if we talking real fast. Especially if I get talking to my cousin and all that. We really, that gullet talk really going to come out. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm talking to somebody from somewhere else, then the way I articulate myself is probably going to sound a little different. Like, in college, people's like, I can't tell where you from. And I know they might be listening like, bro, we can tell exactly where you from. That's because I'm with my niggas chilling.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's how we talk.
We're going to lean into it. But anyway, that was just quick thought. But yeah, I agree with you though. Back then, whenever I was like, boy, you really go down there, and I was like, I was like, God dang. But then again, like you said, the time period, I had to. Okay, we're talking about the early 1900s.
Yeah.
Because let's think about
it.
We're talking about people like, these are our grandparents, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
And if you think about how they sounded back then, it's like, okay.
If you can, like, actually listen to how your grandma and your grandpa talked, like, as you were growing up, they sound
just like that.
Southern accent. Again, we're all from the South, so blah, blah, blah. Just listen to your grandma and your grandpa, or just your old aunts and your old uncles and stuff like that. They sound, their Southern accent is a lot more like it was in the movie.
Yeah,
so it's like
all I'm saying is I had to recalibrate whenever I heard it. I had to put myself in that time frame. I got used to it, but at first I was like, God damn, boy.
Because you know,
but yeah, I get what y'all saying. It's probably accurate, but initially it took some time for my brain to,
right.
Like,
it was a little offsetting too, because like Michael B's from Baltimore, so for us it's like, hold up, it's like, hold up, motherfucker. Like, I'm used to you going use, fuse, use. Now let's not start that. Shout out to Baltimore.
There's different regions that got different accents. It's all funny. So that's how it sounds. That's how that sounds. Us, but it ain't that thing. Yes, you do talk like that.
Yeah, y'all do.
But anyway, that just it's
that's how they sound in Baltimore.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fuck is you talking about?
Yeah.
They be saying it like that.
Yeah. I went to school with a bunch of people from out there. The ears are strong.
It is a real thing out there.
Just like Memphis here. Well, I kind of talk like that. Like her, their, different. How people stay instead of here, there. You know, it's
I'm
just
also saying her over here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so it's just different regional accents. Anyway, let's get into it. All right, so Sinners, directed by Ryan Coogler, who also directed, if you were unaware, Black Panther, Creed, Fruitvale Station, along with a host of other movies. So he got a nice little background.
He got a repertoire.
You know what I'm saying?
And he likes, we know he likes rocking with Michael B. Jordan, because he was in damn near all the movies. Right?
Yeah, all the ones I just named.
Pretty much.
So they're a duo. They made hits in the past, so they rejoined for this one right here. Then, along with Michael B. Jordan, he is playing Smoke and Stack in this movie. Then you also have Miles Canton, which you do see in the trailer there. He plays Sammy Moore. You have Jack O'Connell playing Remick. That's the main antagonist of the film. Mm-hmm. Then you have Wunmi Musaku. Apologies if I'm pronunciating that wrong, as Annie. I really liked her character. Haley Steinfeld as the White Devil, aka Mary.
Man, y'all get
that's basically what they,
like the so-called white chick, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you have one of my favorite. I ain't got nothing against her, but that's pretty much to a degree what she played. Then you got Delroy Lindo as Delta Slim.
Yeah.
And you got several others in the movie, of course, and we'll run through there. Also note, the movie just off the rip looks very nice. Mm-hmm. So I had to look it up. The cinematographer is Autumn Durald Arkapaw. Once again, if I'm pronunciating that wrong, apologies. But it was shot on 65mm film, combo of IMAX and Ultra Panavision cameras.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks very nice. I know you like aesthetics like
Quentin
that.
Tarantino type stuff.
It wasn't too clean in a good way. It had like a certain grain to it, a texture to it that was very nice. So just visually off rip, even if you may not like the story, visually it looked great to me. What do y'all think about it visually?
It definitely fit the area aesthetics, because let's face it, the South isn't always well known for cleanliness. We're very much we can get gutter, grimy, dirty.
That's why they call us the Dirty South, bro. What you mean?
And I mean, when you look at it, as long as I've been alive, there's always been run-down buildings in every part in everybody's town. No matter what part of the South you go to, there's always run-down buildings. There's always buildings that just look dingy, and people do fun shit in those buildings sometimes. And then you have people that end up renovating and fixing them up. It just, the actual feel of the South was very much in those moments in that film. Like, going into a general store, I could see what it actually kind of felt like. Having my parents tell me about like segregation, it feels different, but actually fully seeing it and kind of really getting a better view of it, just...
You know, we still got a General Mass store downtown, actually.
Really?
Big stores, nice. They got the big barrels with different types of candy in there. It still kind of has that aesthetic and build to it, but it's pretty nice though. It's pretty cool.
I'll have to go in there.
And we allowed in now, man.
Hey, there we go. There we go, y'all. We allowed in now, motherfuckers.
Announced in 2024. Nah.
Y'all ain't shit.
But yeah. So, before we get your thoughts about the aesthetic of it, the synopsis of the movie. Well, no, let's do that first. What do you think about it visually?
Visually, I thought it was a very beautiful movie. Just to sum it all up and to just say that, it was a very beautiful movie. There was a lot of intimate parts that just grabbed you. You know what I mean? Like if it was like, you know, like with Michael B. Jordan and the old girl, you know, the sex scene. Who was it? Smoke, you know, was having sex with the old girl, the dark-skinned chick, and then the Smoke was having, no, it was Stack that was having sex with the white chick who turned her back on him.
Mary.
And all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I'm a big fan of like cinematography and a big fan of like dramatic lighting and stuff like that, and like especially like the parts, like there was a lot of dark, evil, just grimy looking parts in there, like especially like when they revealed the that they were vampires, right?
Yeah,
pretty much,
yeah. Like when the white girl had came from the barn and was going, you know, to off to do whatever she was going to do, and she stumbled upon the vampires. And just how the lighting looked, as like it was like over their heads, but it like just made their eyes so dark looking. I mean, like stuff like that is just grabs your attention. Like it was beautiful all the way around. You know what I mean?
Okay. So with that, cosign from everybody visually, as you could tell clearly. Now the synopsis. Trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. So that's the synopsis. I ain't see that. I ain't want to see nothing else after I saw one of the trailers. I ain't want to know nothing about the movie going in.
Right.
So we get into it, and we start off with Sammy coming into the church. Well, him walking, stumbling up to the church with part of the guitar in his hand. He's still holding it. We're going to get to that too, the symbolism in the end. What I interpreted from it. But he's walking into the church, see the scar on his face. His dad take him, everybody looking like, hey, bro, what's going on? You know what I mean?
No, they didn't even say all that. His dad just kind of looked at him like, my son's been out with sinners, and allow me to try to get him back into the church. He said, he basically is like, you've been out sinning all night, come into the house of the Lord, pretty much type of attitude. He wasn't even, I don't even think his dad even recognized that he got cut up in his face yet.
He did. He didn't care. Hardcore, man.
Yeah.
He didn't care about that, man.
He probably thought you got into some bar fight or something like that. Your guitar's all busted up. You probably got into a bar fight and somebody cut you with a bottle or something.
True. And so with that, we get our introduction to Sammy. And he comes in, you know what I mean? And they introduce us to the life that he's living at the time. You know, he was out in the cotton field,
right?
picked this load early or whatever, so that he could have time to go off with his cousins. But I think they did pretty good at setting up pretty quickly what his life looked like. You know, from a day-to-day basis, the environment that they lived in. You know, how they worked and all that kind of stuff. So I think the aesthetics from that perspective were pretty cool. And then we get introduced to Michael B. Jordan and Michael B. Jordan. So, like we said earlier, I had no idea that that it was gonna be two Michael B. Jordans in here. Like I said, if I saw that trailer, I completely forgot by the time I saw the movie, and I love that because I was completely surprised. So I was like, I don't know how this is gonna work. I don't know if I'm gonna like this. Like him acting with himself, I was very intrigued with how they were gonna try to make it work. And I did notice that they had two different colors. You know, one had on burgundy, the other one had on like blue. A navy blue. So that was very interesting. So what did y'all think when y'all first saw Michael B. and Michael B?
For me, I thought it was going to be more so maybe a yin and yang aspect of it, to where we might actually be seeing one of these people. Like Smoke might have been the actual person. And then Stack was going to be the inner monologue of what was going to happen. I thought that's what
I had that thought too. I'm not going to lie. Towards the end, I thought it was going to be like this whole time it was just
Smoke.
One version.
Yeah.
But then when you look at the story throughout, how they're talking about the brothers and the twins and the city referencing them,
right,
that kind of debunks that. Like, oh, no, they real twins.
Right.
But initially, in the moment, I had that thought too.
The moment that debunked it for me was when Sammy actually went up and shook both of their hands and hopped in the back seat.
Gotcha. So
I'm like, okay, yeah, this isn't like that. So, and for me, what kind of drove it to a point for me that these are twins is when they're riding with Sammy into going to get the hooch, and Sammy's like, y'all, what was Chicago like? And they kind of both looked at each other, and they're like, "Don't go to Chicago. It's nothing but a plantation with tall buildings and concrete." Didn't Sammy look like Emmett Till? He looked like Emmett. He kind of looked like Emmett Till for a second, and it felt like how Emmett Till wanted his image to be a story for black males to pay attention to where they are. That's what I got from that scene. Like, y'all need to pay attention. The city and the plantation ain't no damn different. You still getting jerked no matter where you freaking go.
That's a deep thought. I mean, I like, or deep theory. I like that.
And it just kind of felt like Smoke and Stack were just allegories for the United States in general, because they both were soldiers. They both went from the countryside to the city. They did a lot of different things that a lot of people in their town didn't do, and they're well known for it. And it's kind of weird that one of them possibly killed their daddy and they didn't go to jail for it. And they're walking around town like if the local law walked up to him, nothing's going to happen. Just kind of felt like an allegory for the United States. But what us as black men want it to be for us, or what society thinks black men want the United States to be for us, in a sense.
Okay. What are your thoughts about Michael B. and Michael B?
Well, it's on the total opposite side of the spectrum from what you I like everything you said. I respect everything you just said.
I like
but
that.
I'm going back to talking about basically the visual aspects of it, I would say that, you know, we've seen the whole thing of one actor playing two people in the same movie or whatever, whether it's twins or whether you have the main character and then the main character's, I don't know, inner thoughts or whatever, something like that. But I feel like this is like, it could quite possibly be the best double image.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
for sure. I can't
with
think of another one.
Look, I ain't never seen it look so clean and so fluent. It looked like Michael B. Jordan actually had a twin. Like,
yeah,
it was clean. Like, normally, like, you can like look at the screen and like kind of see like where it's split and how they may have.
Yeah, normally it was split and they don't cross that horizon.
Yeah.
But they were holding each other. He dapped them up. They were crossing.
Hugging. Yeah.
And stuff like that. I'm like, boy, I don't know how y'all did that.
Insane. Like, yo, this movie needs a award for something.
From a technical perspective.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But yeah, all in all, yeah, like, yeah, just going back to the visual aspect of it, man, it's just beautiful, man, and just very well executed. You know what I mean? Like, just really fine. So
yeah, that's a great point from a technical perspective. Very, very impressive.
Right.
All right, so we meet our main characters. You know, they go through. We show that they have a hidden truck with some of the goods that they brought down from Chicago.
Right.
And they, you know, there's questions throughout the movie about that. Like, hey, how y'all get all this money? How y'all do all this?
Don't worry about all that.
It turns out that it looks like they play a part in opposing gangs and basically set it up to make it look like, you know,
Each
the other gang got each other.
Right.
And it's the same dude, so they ain't thinking about either one of them individually. But they just, you know, they set it up where this side is going against this side. They gonna be fighting each other, and we gone with all the goods, and they came down. So that was very interesting, how they set up that layer. They didn't get into a crazy amount of detail, but for the most part, that's what we got an idea of. Is it sounds like they use their advantage as twins and strategicians to just say, hey, we're gonna make this thing work. We're gonna make them fight each other, so they ain't even looking for us.
Right.
We out. So
Now,
we see them get the truck. Oh, go ahead.
Now, it would be interesting to if they did Sinners 2, not trying to jump too far into the future, but if they did another version of it, it'd be the brother that survives going.
Did he survive?
I mean,
we ain't. Hey, stop. Cut it out. Cut it out. We ain't even gonna go there yet. We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that later. Never mind. I'll try to remember this point when we get to that point.
Yeah. But yeah, I've heard people saying they wouldn't mind seeing some kind of prequel talking about them working with. I think they said Al Capone was one of the people that they worked with, or at least one of them worked with.
Right.
So people were talking about a prequel of all the stuff they got into while they was in Chicago.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
like before this story.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we'll get to the end, but
yeah,
it's hard not to talk about it, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
But yeah, so they get their truck, a hooch from their adventures in Chicago, whatever they were. They head into town, and then we get an idea what the town looks like and what's going on there.
Well, hold on, you skipped something before we got to
what's that?
You skipped when they bought the rundown sawmill factory, and they bought it from the guy, and they told him no Klan bullshit.
That before they went in town?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's before they even picked up their cousin. They bought that place first, and they were telling the guy like, don't do no Klan bullshit. And he's like, oh no, Klan ain't been here for years. It's like, okay. But it's a throwaway line at first, and you're thinking, okay, fine. I guess this is around the time period when the Klan's not there, but you know, Occam's razor, if you will, one of those types of situations.
Yeah, I could see it as a double. Like, oh, they ain't been here years. You could say the same thing today. Oh man, why y'all still worried about racism, man? Who cares? That was such a long time ago. You're like, oh, okay,
sure,
yeah, all right,
right.
Well, you could talk to people like that. That's another thing that just stemming off into that a little bit is like, for instance, my Aunt Ruby, who's still alive. So I can talk to somebody that lived in a town that's like a sundown town where it's like, no, we had to be together. especially when the evening hit, in order to make it home safely for real.
Right.
So all the people fuck you if you say, right, that was so long ago. No, I can talk to somebody that lived through segregation, where it's like, hey, you can literally die if you don't get home in time, or if you ain't got people with you so y'all could be deep in order to get home.
Right.
So all that, it was so long ago, nigga, I can talk to somebody today that lived through that. What are you talking about?
My mother lived
why
through
don't
that
black
shit.
people just get over it? It's just like, bro, it's just a lot of things that
Let's
were
put your family down
passed.
for a
You know what I mean?
good couple of generations and see how you like how that feels.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
so that is a rather important line that could still be relevant today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even one of our meccas, Atlanta, is known, for being a black mecca, but we have, like, if I'm not mistaken, the headquarters for the KKK, the main headquarters was started or founded at Stone Mountain. If I'm not
Stone Mountain,
mistaken. So
Georgia.
right in our own mecca, you still got the remnants of
The Klan.
the Klan. So
They're still there.
So that line is a lot deeper and more important. So yes, that occurs. Then they goes into town,
Right.
and then we meet two more of our characters. We meet Grace Child and then Bo Child. So there's other pieces in there, and we'll go through intricacies. But they go to the general shop, as you mentioned, and they're purchasing everything for this juke joint. So they bought the warehouse so they could open a juke joint, planning to have a big grand opening that night. So this store is just taking us through one day, and I like that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That it's just this is the journey of what happened today. You know what I mean? So they going in there, and they buy fried fish or something like that.
They bought
Yeah.
stuff to fry fish. I think they also bought some like potato stuff also for potato wedges or something like that.
So some food. So they went there to buy some food, and we get introduced to them. So that's interesting because even in our community today, a lot of times, hair products in particular, we have relationships with the Asian communities, and a lot of times in many black communities, you're gonna find a store run by Asians that provide services and products for us as well. So hundreds of
Maybe even
years
a
ago to
restaurant.
today, it's still
Right.
very interesting that we still have that connection, that dynamic between our communities.
Well, yeah, we've always kind of been like intertwined with the with Asian culture a lot of times. Hell, even with the Black Panthers, they were a little bit intertwined with the communistic ideas that I guess you could say the Chinese party had at one point in time, but that's not neither here nor there. What I liked about the whole idea is that if you didn't notice, the Changs owned two stores, one on the black side of town and one on the white side, and they had their daughter going in between both stores. Like it's interesting that yes, even though they've always been with us, also they've always been with them too. They've always been like that little in between, the people who can go day walker, if you will. It sounds stupid now.
Interesting.
It sounds stupid when you kind of say it, but it's like somebody who can be in between the two and could, in a way, kind of bring both together and end a lot of dumb shit. But
That would have happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
If it was going to happen.
if it was, I mean, it still could to this day. Because let's face it, the way we are now, with at least me. There are certain people that I can have in my house that I feel comfortable with when I have my brothers in the house too. That it's not like, oh, I can't have white people at the house because Quentin and them. Nah, like that's my boy. And these my boys too. We all hang out. Nobody really starts no dumb shit. It's just having to find that nice middle ground.
Agents of
actually build.
peace.
Yeah,
They serve as agents of peace.
and finding a place to build from, it's hard to do that sometimes. But I did like the idea of while he was in there trying to get his stuff, he knew somebody might try to steal his shit, and he goes outside to find what I look at as like two step it and fetch it type dudes, caricatures of what people sees black folks ass. Oh, I wasn't doing nothing to your stuff, I was promised. And what does Smoke do? Put a cap in that ass. And in my opinion, that's the way we need to look at caricatures nowadays. Also, sick of that shit. Get this shit out of here. Bang. Get lost.
Man.
So, do you have any particular thoughts about meeting our first characters?
Well, obviously, when it came to my that was when it came to my realization that Michael B. Jordan is playing two motherfuckers at the same damn time, and
It took you that long? Why it take you that long for it to really hit you?
What you mean?
That he's playing two characters.
Well, no, it was.
That they acted a little different and all that.
Yeah, I mean, cause like when I went in to watch the movie, like or before watching the movie and seeing the trailer and all that shit, I didn't notice that Michael B. Jordan's playing two characters in the movie, and yeah, like when I learned their names, Smoke and Stack, like I'm real big on like character names and like what they mean for a storyline and shit like that. I don't know. Smoke and Stack. I am a real big fan of their names.
Okay.
And like yeah, as we're following the movie and shit, like why do they call Smoke Smoke? Why do they call Stack Stack? Like, I mean that's pretty much still up in the air or whatever. But them two, actually, I think out of everybody in the movie, I know we're not done with the review and everything, but out of everybody in the movie, Stack is my favorite character.
Okay.
And so like, and even though he, I wish he didn't die so quick, but it is what it is. Whoops. But,
dang, bro, let me get through the day.
You can cut that part out. But anyway,
nah.
Stack.
See, that's why we don't bring this thing.
I don't do this often, but Stack is my favorite character. And a gang of other people, they kind of just, you get a feel for them, and you start to, like once you're learning the story and shit, like it's almost like you get a emotional emotional connection with all the different characters and everything, like the more you learn about them and stuff. But yeah, with Stack, I just liked his vibe. Like he's mad chill and cocky, and I just like that type of shit. So
What do you think about the Asian people though?
What I think about them?
Yeah, that was
in the beginning, like we were still learning who exactly they were and shit like that.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
and obviously, I mean, like you knew that they were going to be a big part of the story, and the further it went into the story, like it's okay. This is what they mean to the storyline, the people of the city and all that. I just wrote down something, and when we were sitting here talking about the Asian folk in the movie, I'm going to bring it up later in the review because I don't want to spoil anything else. So I wrote it down as a sticky note. So we're going to get back to these Asian people.
So they go to town, they get their food settled and everything. They got their hooch and all that.
Right.
You feel me? And then they go to the train station, and we meet one of my favorite characters, Delta Slim,
Is that the old guy?
Daryl Orlando, the legend, black legend. Been in a lot of movies. And as soon as he hit he was like, man, he is perfect for that part. I don't know how long he been old, but it seems like he lived through it for real. Like he been around he a legend, man. He been around for a long time. I wonder what is his real age. You know what I mean?
He was the old nigga in. He was like the old nigga in the Malcolm X movie from the early '90s too.
With Denzel?
Yeah, because remember
He was in that.
He was the dude that Malcolm was running the numbers for, and Malcolm found him in some like abandoned like numbers hall or something like that, and the dude was strung out, and Malcolm got him clean.
Yeah. Okay. Man, so he been playing an OG for a long time.
He really has.
He a quadruple OG at this point. You know what I mean? So we meet Delta Slim down at the train station. All he doing is drinking. You know what I mean? He ain't really, and he got his set place that he like to play. So they have to go down there to try to convince him. Like, hey man, we got a big event going on, come down here and play for us or whatever. And then his character was just a very strong, likable character to me. You know, play instruments, obviously. What was he playing at the train station? Was that a harmonica?
Yeah.
Harmonica.
Yeah.
And then he ended up playing the piano at the juke joint.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But he was down there playing. But even a striking moment once they convinced him to come on, he said, "Hey man, we got all the beer you can want." He said, "Say less, I'm coming." You know what I mean?
He had to taste it first. He had to taste it first.
He had to taste it first. And when they got in the car, when he was telling the story, you know, about, you know, his friend, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There was, you know, it's a good story. I ain't gonna spoil the story, but he tells the story of it, and then the emotion of it. At the end, where he was like, he didn't even really have no conclusion to the story. He just said what they did.
Right.
And then he was like, "Man, ain't you got a guitar right there?" And then play through it. So to me, that was a very interesting depiction of how we convey our pain through music.
Yes.
In
And
many cases, where it's like, I ain't even got no words to say about it no more.
we can't talk about
It's the music that conveys the pain. So to me, that was a very powerful scene, because, you know, he was just like, and everybody was in the car silent. Little Sammy in the back, like, damn, they did what? You know what I mean? And then he just told him to start playing.
Yeah.
You know?
That was another part of this movie that I found to be very beautiful, is how the director, he wrote the story to let everybody know, like it was basically telling, you know, just basically what you just said, just how music can, just what music does, you know what I mean? It makes people feel, and it tells a story, you know what I mean?
Oh, and the rewind, sorry to cut you off. The rewind back just a little bit. When they first got in the car and they was riding, Sammy and Michael B. It's hard for me to name the character. I just see Michael B. But which one was he riding with? Stack or Smoke?
He was Stack. He was with Stack.
So he was with Stack. And maybe it's just me, but just hearing them talk, you know, hearing Sammy talk, and then hearing him sing, I was like, dang, I didn't expect that to come out of him.
Right.
Like, that, I he can sing for
That's
real.
why
That's
when
from the gut. That
when
was
Stack
hard.
looked at him like, oh shit, it reminded me of moments where you be hanging with somebody and you don't know what kind of talent they really have. You've been around them your entire life and you don't know, and then the moment they really show you who they are, holy
Yeah, Stack gave him that what the fuck type of look.
yeah, and it's like, you don't need to be here, but at the same time, dang, bro, it's moments like that, and that's one thing I love about our culture. We have a way of conveying and telling you stuff that's been going on without even having to say it. We just either give you a look or give you like just a phrase, and it's fit, and it's. Mm-mm.
And another thing that was very interesting, I'm not sure if y'all were aware, but this was his first movie.
Very first movie.
This is his first movie.
Miles Kane.
I think he's been doing music, so
I can tell he's been in
music. He got that down.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, clearly we saw
Right.
it, but I think this is his first movie ever. So even outside of just the music, very impressive for his first film to be that good, with all his acting and everything on top of doing the music very well, obviously.
I mean,
But that was his first movie, dog.
for it to be your first movie and
First major movie, at least.
Right,
If he been in
right.
something else.
What's interesting about this picture right here is Sammy isn't on there.
yeah, we were
there's a
talking
few
about that.
I don't know.
Yeah, you don't see the brother that we were just talking about who was the head, well, pretty much like the old head musician in the room.
Yeah, Delta Slim.
Yeah, you don't see Delta up there. You don't see Sammy. You don't see even the main. You only see one of the protagonists or one of the antagonists in the right hand corner. You don't even see the main antagonist.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this just, so we won't dive too far in that. This is
Right.
just a random picture, just to
Right.
help. But
Just to kind of help with giving ideas.
we meet Delta Slim.
Right.
Something else about that?
I was actually gonna say, when it came to Smoke, or no, when it came to Stack talking to Delta. I like the familiarity with it. It's a good sign of like actual community, because it's the fact that he could just walk up on this old man and he's like, yo, my cousin's actually a really good musician. And the guy's like, man, your cousin can't play for shit. And the cousin was about to try to play, and he's like, boy, I'll cut you right here if you did. And he's like, I'll shoot you in your fucking head. That tit for tat mindset, that we always have with one another, where it's like, oh, you wouldn't gotten too far. Like, and the idea that, like, Delta was like, man, I already have a club I play at every night that's gonna be open tonight, tomorrow night, and the night after that. What's so special about your club that's gonna make me come?
Can they pay you $20 a night like weekend? Some shit like that. Whatever he said.
He's like, it's not even the money for me.
Yeah.
Because I easily can go over and just go to any other club and make the money. These people let me drink. They indulge me. They actually, in a sense, they take care of what I need taken care of. Can you do that? And the moment he realized, like, oh, we'll have some of the best hooch in town. You got me. Like, the idea that
You're always gonna find them winos.
and if they're good enough at what they do, you don't mind feeding their habit. And that's kind of a sad toll. We'll
But
put
it
up
is
with
what
them.
it is.
It is
It's
what
like that. It's like that.
it is.
Still like that nowadays.
It really is. But the moment somebody has that habit and they can no longer provide that service, they still got that habit. You fed that.
Yep.
You gonna still take care of that? No? You just gonna let it? Okay. I'm just saying, it kind of makes you look at it like, God dang, how many brothers have as many stories as him? And if we just got him sobered up enough to where he could have done just a little bit more, he could have been a voice in that.
Maybe, but also people have tried to no avail, wasted time and energy, tried pulling,
Yeah.
and they said, "Nigga, leave me alone.
Fair enough.
I just want to do what I want to do." I know it ain't good for me. You think I don't know it ain't good for me? I done got sober, and you know what? Didn't like it. Going back.
For those people,
And then some artists, to keep it a brick with you, just to play antagonist. Some artists, they come off all the stuff, and then the art ass. I'm gonna keep it a brick. The art be ass sometimes.
Coltrane comes to mind.
They come off the drugs and all that. You know where the drugs was taken. Maybe they was overindulging. I agree. Bad for your health overall and all that. But sometimes they can take your brain to a place where it's like, we can't get this without me doing all this.
Right.
I can't live no happy, peaceful, sober life and give you what I gave you. It ain't possible.
Because that's
There's
what
some art where it's just not possible to give you that without the tribulations.
Trust me, I agree.
they try to say that with old dude. This is totally going away from this genre of music that's in this movie. But Chester Bennington of what's my man? What's the name of that group? Not Cold. Damn Coldplay.
You mean Linkin Park?
Linkin Park. Yeah, like they try to say that when he got clean, that his music wasn't the same no more, or some shit like that.
I mean,
But it's the damn truth. Like
some people can't really
being
do
under the
that.
influence can.
Give you your clairvoyance, and I
It
get
can
that.
elevate you.
All I'm saying is, you just, it's always paying attention to what
But I know what
motivates.
you're saying.
Yeah,
It's like, man, you don't want to do that, but some people just don't want to be held, long story short.
right. And it just is weird for me to see that other side of the aspect, being that, I used to like be in the EDM scene.
Mm-hmm.
I saw so many people like that in that scene, or just in music in general, and it's always that moment of being like, dang, such a beautiful soul, but you letting yourself go. And it's like, damn, it just kind of hurts at times. It just hurts.
Yeah,
It
true.
just hurts.
So we leave there, and then they're heading back. So they got Delta Slim. They riding, doing their thing, and then we come across Cornbread and Beatrice. They out picking Oh, go ahead. Talk to me.
We forgot another character. In that scene where
Oh, Mary.
yeah, Mary.
We forgot Mary. Which, okay.
What's going on?
No.
What is it about Mary?
Like,
What is it about Mary?
for me,
Classics.
yes. For me, my whole issue with the whole Mary storyline is like, we get it. Her and Stack are supposed to be together. Boo fucking who? This nigga told your ass, I set you up to be safe and to make some money off your own, with your life and do something. Get the fuck away. What part of that don't
Okay,
you fucking
yeah.
understand?
Good call, because before they headed back to the juke joint, it was at the train station as well. Because I seen it a while back. They just fresh on it. So yeah, when they was at the train station, she was like, "Yo," he said, "Oh, snap." He trying to turn. He trying to turn there like, "Hey, just go ahead on."
Bitch, go
That I
away.
mean, but she's mixed, right? Based on the
she
story,
is.
so she's mixed. So they meet, they have their little conversation.
And I love the fact that she tries to guilt Stacks by saying, you know, my mama died, and you didn't even come to her fucking funeral, and she took care of y'all. What was she to y'all? And he just kind of was like, just trying to hurt her a little bit by saying like, this is a meal. Fuck you want from me? I don't owe her anything. Like, the fuck you want? Like that. And there's another line that happens that kind of shuts her down, and she never brings her mother up after that again, that Smoke says to her, but we haven't gotten to that part yet, so I'm not going to bring that up yet. But it's interesting how sometimes women will like to, you know, you remember this? Huh? You remember?
Yeah.
Huh? And it's like, let it go. You want to say that, but at the same time, do you let it go yourself? Because it's like, I don't know. That whole thing befuddled me. That was one of the things with Stack that always drove me insane about him as a character. It's like, bro, just
The fact of how he let Mary talk to him.
not even the way he let her talk to him, because let's face it, all of us let our wives talk to us in a way sometimes in public. You kind of look at them like, bitch, if you don't shut the fuck up. But it's not the way that he let her talk to him like that. It's just the fact that he's pretty much stated, I'm done. Let it go. And she won't listen. That just always annoys me. It's like,
So what do you think about Mary? Let's go.
yeah.
I mean,
Let's go.
Yeah.
You remember
I kind of.
But no, that's a good catch. Good catch.
For some reason, I like Mary's character. I like the connection between Stack and Mary, like them. What do you see there? Like, obviously, like back in them days, when you see a dark-skinned nigga with either I said nigga. I ain't put E on there. What?
I swear I thought I heard you.
Bro, don't nah, man. Don't do me like that, man. But when you see a dark-skinned nigga with either a white broad or a light-skinned black broad, something's gonna be said. Like there's something about, like, I've always heard from if it ain't my brother or one of my cousins or my uncles, they'll say something about like how these chicks, like white chicks, or let's just talk about the light-skinned black chicks, they'll talk to us. They feel like they can talk to us any kind of way.
Yeah.
And that's what was there. Like, that's how, like, I remember my uncle and my brother telling me about that type of shit, how these light-skinned bras feel like they could talk to us dark-skinned bras, dark-skinned niggas any kind of way.
Interesting.
And yeah, it's like that. It's that kind of. It's like you knew the director and the writers, or the writer understood that dynamic in the black community.
Think so. Think so. Hey, I don't know nothing about it. So I'm gonna take y'all.
I mean,
but I do agree
Somebody
with somebody dark skinned with somebody light skinned or white. Yeah, stuff will be said.
Yeah.
Now, so it's a little bit more blended. It ain't that unusual. But even like 10 years ago, it'd be
bro,
like,
it still was a little.
even
bit
if they don't
like,
say nothing, they say something with their eyes.
Look
Especially like
how-
older generation, they be like,
Look how Stack was telling Sammy, "Yo, don't talk to her," or some shit like that.
Yeah,
When he
like,
saying that,
don't talk to her
don't
out
talk-
here.
Don't talk to her.
take
man.
her somewhere else.
Don't
man.
talk to her.
and you know what?
In trouble, nigga.
Yeah, that's another thing. Older generations, I will say that, especially older black people, especially like directions from like older black women, they be like,
You
man.
did that to me once.
I got to, man. You the youngest out of the crew, man. So we gotta,
But
we gotta steer you in the right
The
direction.
OGs, they be like, hey, don't talk to them. They gonna get you in trouble. And then, nowadays we know you love who you love and all that. You just fall in love with who you fall in love with. But you got to understand from the OGs generation, that was a real problem.
You could
So
get
from their
lynched.
perspective, it's like, man, don't talk to that white girl. They gonna get you in trouble. I don't care if they smile in your face now, because if y'all get caught, you got caught. She gonna be like, I didn't know what was going on. I mean, the OGs, that's just their perspective, not understanding. There was real consequences back then for that type of situation. That was different for them. So we might be like, oh, y'all tripping. Why I can't talk to? They be like, nah, because I'm used to seeing niggas get killed over
for
there.
that shit. Yeah,
That's
I'm
what
used to
I'm
seeing
saying.
niggas get killed
That's
over
what
there.
I
So
like.
it's different.
That's what I
It's
like.
different.
How Stack was trying to coach Sammy. Yo, don't talk to her, man. Don't fuck with her. She gonna get you in trouble, nigga.
And that's the thing. It's very interesting with her character, and we'll get into it as we progress forward. But even though it don't seem like she had any ill intention besides mouthing off through the story, she trying to help him out. She mean well, and still get them hurt.
she did.
So it kind of plays into that, like they might mean well for real, but the perception and all that, they don't care about. The world don't really care about that in general.
Yeah.
So she can mean well for real, but y'all being together gonna be a problem.
We also forgot what is her name? The lady in the bottom corner, because that's the one that Preacher Boy was hollering at.
Oh, Joanne.
Yeah,
So when did they meet?
they met at the train station also.
Sure did, yeah.
Okay.
They did meet
Yeah.
at the train
Okay.
station, and she was basically telling him the whole damn time, "Nigga, I'm married. Leave me alone." And I've never understood that about, like,
Watch your mouth.
I'm gonna say it in general. Certain single niggas,
Just saying.
certain single women, I don't understand the mindset of, oh, this person's married. I'm gonna go ruin their marriage. What the fuck do you get out of that? What kind of joy do people get out of that bullshit? Like, I have never understood somebody who sits there and says, oh, this person looks like they're in a relationship, or they tell you that they're in a relationship.
Some
I'm gonna ruin that.
people like the challenge, I guess. They specifically like that they married.
Like,
Specifically like that they are.
Yep.
that's just weird to me. Like, growing up, bro, I've never.
It's Mamba mentality, man.
It's still
I'm
like. It's still disgusting.
I think it's the challenge.
Yeah, it
I
might be
think
the
it's what-
challenge, but still, for me, that's a challenge that. Like, if you somebody
Yeah,
else's,
if you reasonable, yeah, sure. But these people aren't reasonable.
I guess.
It's like I don't know. I guess it's like, think about it, playing a video game.
Right.
Playing on easy is boring. Who cares? Playing on medium, a little more exciting. Playing on hard, okay. I did something. So for some people, I believe they view it as a challenge. Very specifically, they get off on that. Man, she married and I still bust her down. That's what people get. Some people, you're thinking about the pain and all that. They don't give a fuck. I don't know that nigga. Don't care. I'm not one of these people. I want to make it sound like
It's
it.
not
I'm married.
even-
I'm good. But for some people specifically, she the hard one to get. That's who I want. I don't want the ones I know I can knock down. Who cares? Who cares? That's a challenge. I'm telling you, that's what it is.
That's just
A riddle
that's
solved,
sad.
at least in many cases.
Nigga, just
And then other cases, it might
get
be
to Sudoku puzzles or something. Put a knife to your throat while you're doing a Sudoku puzzle.
That ain't the same as
or something.
coochie, man. It ain't the same as
How the fuck
coochie.
is that not?
A Sudoku puzzle and coochie? That ain't the same thing.
Hear me out.
Anyway, hold on.
We'll have this conversation later.
I know. I just gotta play devil's advocate, but I'm
Right.
telling you that's the reason. And then, like we said, you fall in love with who you fall in love with. You might just say she fine, and she say I'm married. I don't care. You fine. You fine. I don't care about what you got going on.
Lust
And
will get
then
a
if she
nigga
entertain
killed.
that at all, she say, well, but if it seemed like she would, but I can't because, then that's basically saying I want to, and that just gives the attacker
More
more
reason.
incentive to say, oh, you want to do it, and now it's a game. It's just a game. It's just a game.
Yeah.
For some people, it's just a game.
And that game
It
is
might get
very
you hurt.
dangerous. It's gonna get you
Yeah,
hurt.
It'll get you hurt.
It'll get you
But
hurt.
it's just a game for some people. But neither here nor there. We deviate.
Right,
Let's
right,
come
right.
on back. Let's come on back. So he trying to holler at Joy. Okay, so now
Yeah.
remember, y'all starting to revamp stuff.
Right.
So all that happens. They riding. We already talked about the Delta Slim, story scene. That was beautiful. That was powerful. They riding back. Everything getting set up.
And
And
then-
then on the way back, they decide, hey, we need some security for the door or whatever. So they stop by. We see
Sharecrop, another
Cornbread and Beatrice. And man, Cornbread, one of my favorite characters. It pissed me off. I was like, not like super favorite, but as soon as he said, nah, I'm good, y'all go ahead. And his wife was like, I don't know, it sounded like good money. And they wrote them into it. I was like, man, this nigga better not die. This nigga was minding his business with his wife. They out there working, doing
I'm
their
just trying to
thing.
take
I
care
was
of my
like, bro.
family. I'm just trying to be here for my
Bro.
wife.
As soon as he got it, I was like, man, this nigga better not die. This nigga minding his business, bro. He minding his business.
And
He out the way like he supposed to be. He didn't even want to go. She said, go ahead, man. Go ahead. You go ahead. Good money.
And
And I
see,
ain't mad at his decision, but
that
when
be
he
your,
met
it
him,
be your
I was
own
like,
kind. It be your own people
like, God
that
dang it.
lead to your damn downfall. She's supposed to be the. I don't know if
she
it's
saw
like
some
this.
good money, though.
Yeah,
I can't fault her.
I can't fault her for that. But let's face it, I don't know if y'all have done this or not, but I sure as shit did this a couple of times in Portland. There'd be a couple of times people would want me to come and hang out for certain things, and I have to be like, I can't. My wife really wants me at the house tonight. She wants to do this. She wants to do that. So I can't go. But real shit, I ain't want to fucking go. I don't want to stay at the house. And she's done that with my black ass. So it's no big deal. Like, sometimes you use your partner as a way of getting out of certain situations. This time, it didn't freaking work.
They got him in a situation.
Pretty much. And the fact that Stack looked at his wife and go, you got a good woman right there. How many times have I been in places and my wife say something in front of somebody and they be like, you got a good woman right there, and I look at her like, shut your ass up. You gonna get me killed in this shit. Fuck, she got me in the field.
Man.
But nah,
Yeah, so we meet Cornbread.
yeah.
He hop in. They didn't loop my boy in. See, that already made me mad again. I was mad at me immediately when I saw him.
Why
I
was he
like,
your favorite? One of your favorite
not
characters?
my
though?
favorite, because he was just
Like funny. He was
he was just innocent. He was just innocent. They was hustlers. They obviously kill people and they do stuff. They don't make them bad people
Right.
per se, but just the fact, I guess, because I can relate to him. I'm out the way, bro. I'm out the way. I'm
But
minding my business.
Because you a big, intimidating looking ass nigga, we
They be
need
like-
you at the front door.
We need you at the door. And I was like, man, this dude. And even at the door, he respectful. Now you can't come in. Hey, bro, now you can't. He chilling. He
Right.
chilling whole time.
He just sat there.
But I was like, man, he gonna be a sacrificial lamb. I didn't want to see him be a sacrificial lamb
The
just
one
for the
time the
story.
nigga takes a break, too. The one time a hardworking nigga take a break, what always happens?
Whew, but nonetheless, all right, we get. Oh, and I don't remember. Where did they meet Pearline? Where did they see Pearline at?
Pearline. That's the
like
one
the very first time.
that no, Pearline was the one who they met at the train station.
Yeah.
Annie, Smoke went to her general store.
Okay,
That's the next
her
person
crib. That was her
yeah.
house.
Her house, general store,
talking
and
about
It's all
off
everybody
in
at the
the-
train station. God dang.
Off in the woods, right?
pretty much
That's where
she's
it
off
was.
in the cut. And
About that part, I mean, there's spoilers all through this thing, so
Pretty
I mean,
much.
whatever.
Let's get to Pearline first. Hold on.
Oh, y'all still working on that? All right, go ahead.
So Pearline, he met her where?
he met her at the train station.
Train station.
That
Okay.
because we just had that whole conversation about she was telling Preacher Boy she got a husband and all that shit.
Okay, Pearline. I was thinking, my fault. I was thinking about Joanne. When
Joanne
y'all talking about
is
that. Okay.
Joanne's the
I
That's
know.
way further down the line. a little bit.
that's
Yes,
we're
actually
almost to
is.
that part. We're almost to that part.
Yeah, so we said
Because-
bottom right. That's who. Okay. But Pearline, yeah.
Pearline.
Okay, I follow
yes.
you.
And Joanne, we end up meeting after Cornbread. we end up seeing the vampire being chased by Native Americans.
But yeah, let's not even get there.
Yeah.
All right. Chronologically, we already talked about Pearline.
Right.
Okay. Got a little diced up right there. We good. All right, now go. Now you.
Because I was going to say, I saw the movie Saturday, so I remember.
Right.
So you fresh.
After Pearline, if that's how you say her name,
Yes.
that's when it shows. Wait a minute, they meet Cornbread and all that, and then they follow Smoke as he went to go visit Annie.
Yeah.
And the part about that, like, see, he went, like, they first showed him visiting a gravesite, what it looked like. And that was his, what you find out later in the movie, that was his daughter. Their daughter.
Yeah. Which,
Right?
I mean,
did they, oh, this is my question to y'all. Did they ever say how she died?
I'm thinking.
I don't think
remember.
they said it explicitly, but I think it was just.
SIDS. I think it
they
was
just
SIDS.
didn't make it.
Sudden death syndrome that happens, and tuberculosis was a common thing at that point in time too.
Did they say that in the movie? You just assume.
I'm assuming because of the way Smoke acted about the way she was trying to treat the baby's issues. Because remember, she's also a medicine woman. Technically, she's
a witch.
Yeah, she's technically.
That's exactly what she is.
That's another part I want to get into. I like the way that they depicted her, witch, whatever you want to call it, medicine woman, witch, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was depicted in a more positive light. It wasn't some
Yeah.
spooky, dark,
But there's
demonic
good
devil
witches.
stuff.
No,
It was like, hey, I know how to put together these herbs and pray and do all this. You know what I'm saying? I can put something, bless you up.
Right.
It was very interesting how they showed that in a positive manner, and I like that versus the typical spooky witch
Right.
lady trying to kill everybody.
Yeah, I'm stealing your tail and all that kind of.
What Annie kind of reminded me of was I know, like, growing up, you know, my grandma, my mom, they would, you know, they have these old remedies that, like, and stuff. They know how to put stuff together
To heal you up.
and make you feel better and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And
You look at him
that's,
like.
that's kind of how I looked at Annie's character, like just a healer. You know what I mean?
Right.
And yeah, I actually loved her character. Actually, just like that figure of peace and put togetherness and stuff like that. Like, you know,
just strong, ain't extra about it, still sweet. Like the right amount of strong and sweet
At the
is
same
a
time.
balance. Like too much strong is like, man, nah. Too much sweet, you be like, okay, that's cool, but you need somebody to check you too. So she represented a very good balance, in my opinion.
and she was checking Smoke like as soon as he walked through the door.
Like, hey, boy, you tweaking. You tweaking, but at the same time, she went ahead and tooted it over. So she's like, "Hey, we good. I just had to get you right. Like, I had to make sure you know."
I do
She
like
took care of, you know.
if you actually look at the difference between what each brother likes, like you can see the similarities.
They are very different. I ain't really
and
think
they're
about
very
that. They are
different.
very
too.
different.
Very different, because Annie's somebody who is a part of the community. I mean, both women are very much ingrained into that community.
Mary, she's for the community, if
She
you know what I
is.
mean.
More so, okay, Mary's more so the kind of person that she comes into the general store, she spends a good bit of cash, and then she goes back over to the white side of town where nobody really knows what she's doing. Annie's the one on the front lines, sitting there taking care of the
she's
kids.
about shit.
Yeah, and you actually know who she is.
Yeah.
You know where she come from. Mary she can go in between two different communities and nobody really know the difference unless you actually know her.
True.
And the way Smoke talks to Annie is way different than the way Stack talks to Mary.
Yeah.
Because with them two, they weren't necessarily arguing or fighting.
Smoking Annie.
Yeah, they weren't fighting. They were having a discussion.
Yeah, because he tried to get puffy or whatever.
And then she basically pulled.
And she was like, "Hey,
Hold up, nigga.
you still got the thing that kept you alive." And he was like, "Yeah, I'm wearing it. I ain't gonna lie, you got me. You got me. I'm still wearing it."
But then he did try to take a cheap shot at her, like, "Why didn't it take care of our child, though?" Huh?
Yeah.
He Smoke knows how to take low blows and like give low blows when he needs to, but at the same time he can be like, you got me, but at the same time
You got no choice.
yeah.
So all right, so we finally get to the juke joint. You know what I mean? We finally there.
Wait, we still forgot about the
Native American scene. There we go. Yeah, yeah.
Now we're getting to the Native American shit.
That happened before. Well, it's around the same time. So
Yeah.
let's
that
do
was
this
right after that sex scene between Smoke
Yeah.
and Stack.
Okay.
Wow, Smoke and Stack. Smoke and
Oh, boy.
God damn, what the hell wrong with you? Right, fanfic over here?
Alright, so we got the scene where, you know, the dude beating on the door. We got Remick. He pull up and he like, hey, help. They chase me down.
Yo, did that nigga fall from the sky?
No. He did not.
That's what it looked like.
It looked like he fell from the sky, but no, he was running. He was just running his ass off.
That dude fell from the sky, cuz.
How could he with the sun up? And you saw how his skin
I don't
was
know,
boiling.
but he did.
He probably can partially do it. Why not? You saw they was jumping.
Did he ever float in the sky any other part in time in the movie?
They did jump
no,
high.
Yes,
no,
he
actually, yes,
did.
he did. He did.
I'm about to
when
say.
they were trying to jump from the barn, that particular part when they were trying to go from the barn door upstairs. You're right.
All right,
so
all right.
you're right. I'm
So,
backing out.
either way,
I'm backing off.
he getting towed up,
All
right?
right.
So he knocking on the door, banging on the door, talking about let me in. They like, we don't know. So
I don't know you.
They let him in the crib, and he's begging to get in or whatever.
Because he played on the fact of, I'm white like you are.
Basically. And then he see like a
Clan robe in the back.
yeah. So he's like, oh, we good. We in here. Now, thinking about it deeper, I don't even know if he don't really care about it.
He's
but he
Irish.
Just like, whatever. I just need to get in here. So
Right.
then we get Native Americans that pull up.
Yeah.
And they pull up strong. I like the way they pulled up. They were just
Right.
about, they been there like, hey man, look. Where he at, bro?
We know he is.
Where he at, bro?
We don't know what you're
Go
talking
on
about.
hand him over,
like-
man. Just go on hand him over.
He not who you think he is now. Look, go ahead and hand him over.
He gonna
And then-
fuck your life up.
And what I liked about them when they said, nah, we ain't giving them up, they was like, all right, bro, we out. They didn't sit,
We
they
trying to
didn't
tell
wait.
y'all motherfuckers, man.
They said, hey,
Look.
buddy was out there. He's like, hey, boy, it's getting dark out here. He's about to power up. We
time
ain't
to
seen
go
them the
home,
rest
bruh.
of the movie. They came in and said,
We trying to
help.
told y'all,
All right,
man.
we gone. We
And that's
going to
how
the
they-
house.
Alright.
And
I like that.
how Native Americans been the whole time in this country. They have been trying to tell y'all, hey, don't do it. Alright, fuck
Because
it.
man, I like that, man. I like they got out of there. You didn't see them riding back and they getting picked off by other vampires or nothing like
No,
that. They
they
were
just-
just like, bro, we
No,
gone.
We going home.
I like that they
Yeah,
showed up. They
why
were smart.
You didn't see him nowhere else in the movie other than
didn't-
that part.
They
I tried
didn't
to
show
look
up
for 'em in the
over a
dancing
ridge
scene. I ain't seen
watching
that.
shit. They didn't go to the bar that night on the way back. Nothing like. Now that would have been interesting if they had been on their way back to their area and found out about the bar and stopped over there and then looked out and, hey, that's old boy. Let's go get his ass real quick.
You know what I'm saying? They was like,
That
nah.
would have been hilarious. That would have been a good scene.
But see, that's the beauty of it. They said, we might not been there, bro. We out the way.
Go back to the reservation and mind our own shit.
All right, so they stopped there. That was a very interesting scene because at
He
first,
ate their baby. You
What
realize that
hold
that
on,
motherfucker
man,
ate their
hold
baby.
on. Go ahead. We here now. Go ahead.
The Irish dude ate their baby. Like, you realize he ate their kid.
The smoking Annie.
No. I'm talking
the people
about,
whose door he was banging on.
yeah, the Irish dude
Oh.
ate their child. He was sitting in their room with their baby,
Yeah.
bloodied. Father was already unconscious. He left him, but the baby is useless. So he ate that child.
You know, I kind of didn't notice that. But you're
What
right.
you mean he
There-
ate him?
He ate the kid.
I mean, he could have. Wasn't there a baby crying like when he first got there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the kid was quiet.
There
As
wasn't
soon as
no.
it went
Yeah,
to-
I mean,
when
wow.
it went dark.
He might be right, man.
He ate the baby. He's like, oh, I need some new enthralls. Okay.
Because I never.
Ooh,
I never
lunch.
put that together while watching it.
You know that could have been interesting too if he would have just bit the baby, and then they would have used the baby
To get in.
to get in.
Yep.
But we don't get to that. All right, so that all that happens. Native Americans say, "All right, bro, we out the movie. We good. We good. We out the way.
did our part.
We out the way." So we at the juke joint now. You know, everybody coming in, they kicking it, doing their thing.
Right.
And then they had an interesting discussion about the wooden nickels or pennies
Yeah, basically.
versus the real money, where one didn't want to take it, and the other one's like, "Man, this is everything to them." It's just
This is how they get by.
right. This is winning over their loyalty by letting them use these, wooden coins in here. They can't use them nowhere else for real.
Right.
Well, they can't. I think they said they could use them at maybe the general store or something like that.
At Annie's store, but
But that meant a lot to them. So by them giving that meant something. And he was like, "We can't stay open with this, but for the night, we'll go ahead and get it through." And this is where it gets it a lot into the music.
Right.
Where it's like a lot of music. So now we're getting into some performances, some music playing.
Yeah.
Everybody's sitting there cool and having a good time and everything. So what did y'all think while we're here about the music before we get into the even the symbolism that we're gonna get into?
Just
with
the music
and
in
everything?
general.
Just the music in general.
I loved how it sounded.
Well, obviously, I mean, it caters to that era. Oh well, yeah, that was blues.
It was
Like, I mean, shit. What's crazy is after the movie, when me and my wife was on the way back home, I looked up the soundtrack to Sinners. It's on Spotify, and it's nothing but like, I guess it's pretty much all the songs that's in the movie. So you can just sit there and vibe to it, and like, yeah, it's just like the purest form of blues, you know.
Right.
And
So we can go ahead and dive into the symbolism. So the scene. The scene there is the one that I told you before you saw it. That where I was like, it's one scene alone. There's a music guy.
yeah.
You gonna like it just for that movie.
Crazy.
Did that stand true?
fucking crazy.
I
Man.
loved it.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to just.
Nah, you
Bro,
good. You
we
good.
better
Let it
cuss
flow.
it.
Yeah, let
But
it flow.
Nah, man.
Right.
Like, yo, let me have this real quick, man.
Go ahead, bro.
I'm really,
Go ahead,
yeah.
Go ahead,
This
bro.
part was like really beautifully done. Like,
Describe it to us.
he started out, Sammy.
Mm-hmm.
What's it, my man named Delta?
Delta Slim.
Yeah, he called Sammy up to sing and play and all that. And I thought it was beautiful because like it started out like Sammy was sitting there playing blues music, and I can't remember the exact order how it transitioned from one genre to the next, but I think they showed a DJ mixing. I mean, it's just a whole pan around the whole barn as the music was going.
Yeah,
And it basically showed different cultures just how they are when music is playing,
Right.
and what it showed what music does to people, like
Yeah.
a group of people or masses of people who are listening to whatever song or whatever. And it basically just it showed just how spiritual music is. You know what I mean? It's going to make you move. It's going to make a song comes on, somebody's going to do something.
yeah.
That hum
Right.
or whatever. But right here, I mean, in this area section of the movie, these people, it was just showing like how everybody gets down, like from black people to black people that like over in Africa, or like Chinese people, during whatever the name of that parade is they normally have. Yeah, you remember they were showing them
Year
dancing
of
and
the
all
dragon and all that shit. Yeah.
They showed the Cherokee people how they get down. They even went to showing
Russians.
black girls twerking in the corner.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. That even the multicultural aspect on top of that was the evolution, starting with us first, just as black people, just showing the evolution through time of how our music's evolved to that point. But it's all built and stemmed together.
Yeah,
Still.
As how it just keeps reshaping and reshifting, and just showing the transition through the years. I thought that was incredible. Even visually, it was cool. Now, at first, I was kind of like the first few seconds, I was like,
Is this the same movie?
This just went to like what is going? Because up until that point, it was pretty grounded. I mean, of course you got to do, but even then, besides falling out the sky, ain't nothing too unreal happened.
Yeah.
And I said, man, this nigga got a guitar, like electric guitar,
Right?
And I think that was
It was like a Bootsy
Collins, you know what I mean?
Kind of motherfucker, like a P-Funk type of shit.
It just came out. No, I was like, what is going on? But I know me loving music too. I'm like, I'm cool with it, but I was very curious about how general audiences were gonna take that. You know, would it just being a complete deviation from what we had seen earlier? But it was done so well.
That's what I mean, man.
The mix, it sounded weird to some people at first, but us making beats, we can kind of hear the development.
Yep.
So the developmental pieces in between, you know, where it started, the middle section where some people are like, I ain't really like that mix. I thought it was whack. I think from our perspective, making beats and you being a part of it and watching our processes, making music, we know what it sounds like. Oh, there's something there. It ain't complete, but it's something there. So I appreciated the whole. It sounded good to me the whole way because I could hear where it was going. Then they finally got to like the final mix, and I was like, oh yeah, that's fire. To me, I thought it was incredible, and visually, you know how it showed how bright music can be in the world, and even the vampire, you know, Remy, he said, damn, like he couldn't help but see the shit.
Right. And he's like, I have got to get
I need some of that energy. And we're going to get into the symbolism for that in a minute. We're going to get there for that.
All right, we're going to get there.
Because that's going,
I got something for that.
I even got a homeboy.
But right now, just that transition, that scene was like the scene. But go ahead.
For me, still staying into the scene, but to talk about the whole Remy thing, going back into the scene, for me, that's what it always feels like when I would go to like house parties. I go to, you know, somebody who would be having a garage band at their house and stuff like that, and you'd see that kind of shit going on too. EDM shows. When I did hang out and people having ciphers and shit like that, you saw all that kind of shit. It felt like the proper way. The energy felt like what, you know, like y'all said, it just felt right. And I loved watching it. I almost got a little emotional watching it.
Yeah.
Bruh. Yeah, like, I'm like you, man.
Like that shit just hit me in the chest. It was like, bruh.
That's what I mean by when I say that this is just such a beautiful movie. And yeah, it's crazy that you said that because that's exactly what I told my wife. When we left, I told her that I literally got emotional at some of the parts in the movie.
Right.
Not when people were dying. Right. But scenes like what we're describing right now.
Yeah, the cultural representation.
I thought
I felt that y'all like, man, that's beautiful. Especially when you string it together and all that, and it flows, and you see us working together, and you just say, that's really what happened is the evolution through generations, molding. Okay, I'm gonna take what they did here, I'm gonna reshape it here, then next generation does some more, and just how it's all streamlined together. When you get rid of the business aspect of all the bullshit of it and who's popular and blah 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 and all that kind of stuff, but you just take the essence of it. Yeah, I can just agree with y'all.
Music, you know what I mean?
It's very beautiful.
Right.
So with that, beautiful, great music, visually crazy how they blended all those people into one place and how they did it. That was super dope.
Right.
Pauline,
hold up. I just not thought of something. I didn't even think of this while watching the movie, but the name of the movie is called Sinners, and then that particular part that we're describing right now, like when it got to the end of that scene of them performing and everything, y'all notice how the barn had burned down, right? Yeah. There was flames everywhere. I wonder did
the roof is on fire.
I wonder did the director place symbolism there, almost like, because you know sinners, what do? They go to hell,
right?
So there was fire everywhere.
No, for me,
that
I
shit's cold, man. I think the director did that on purpose.
I did too, but I'm thinking of it in the sense of like the song I was just singing. The roof is on fire. We don't need no water. Let that motherfucker burn.
I got you.
Burn. I thought that's what that symbolism was for.
That too, but again, the name of the movie is called Sinners, and is there a way you can bring up that scene? Probably yeah,
because it's still in the theater.
yeah.
Yeah, it's probably.
But yeah, just the fact that of how it looked, you know, all them people they're dancing and all that shit.
Right.
But it almost looks as if they're on fire.
Right. Like the whole, like you are
and that's
burning
just
in hell.
and that's just going back to, you know, art appreciation. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like.
So it's on soundtracks. Let's see what we can get out of this thing. I don't want to go too crazy, and then we
Get demonetized
Yeah.
and shit, you know. We're
But
trying to eat off this video. This pretty long so far. It's about an hour and some minutes right
it doesn't
here.
look like it, but
Okay,
nonetheless.
it's straight, man. Oh, y'all see it when y'all go see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was incredible.
Right.
Very beautiful scene, very poignant in my opinion. Enjoyed it a lot. And then we get to various things happening here. We could talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. That happened in Juke Joint. Pearline started throwing ass as well, even though she was married, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was
She
before
was
or
busting,
after.
busting it open.
She
mean?
was.
I don't know if that was that
She
because she was
was.
performing too, right?
Yeah,
She
did.
does sing a song.
So she let Sammy knock before or after his performance.
After.
Before. He knocked it before. He knocked her before, and then during her performance is when Stack and Mary were knocking it down.
Nah, let me think of that.
I think.
Well, according to him, he just wanted to taste it. So I don't know what he did besides that. but-
I think
and people were talking about that. I thought that was hilarious. It's like,
Yes.
boy, you eating raw box in a Juke Joint after
Yeah.
a performance? Boy,
Woo!
you a soldier, ain't it? He a soldier, ain't it? Babe.
And we're acting
yeah.
like they really like that bullshit.
But
No,
yeah,
you don't.
Sinners.
No, you
that, we got to talk about that too.
yeah.
That won't right. What
Right.
they did.
Right.
Sinners, once again, adds
Right.
to the thing. Even, who is it? Stacking old girl, Mary.
Yeah, she's married. She's married to some white dude in Nebraska or Arkansas. I think it was Arkansas or something like that. Actually, yeah, Little Rock,
can't
Arkansas.
remember.
So they got down. Then, who was it? Smoking Annie.
They only did it at her house, and technically, if you really want to think about it, they could have been married by the way they were acting, because it's not like she was flirting with nobody else.
Smoking Annie.
Right.
Yeah.
But I wonder if that has anything, all these different couples that were intimate all the same night, I wonder if that has anything to do. And to our knowledge, two sets were married, one set could have been married or together at one point, but it don't seem like they were married when they did it.
Right.
Does that play into anything?
It's a sin. There you go.
I mean,
So
That's
everybody
the
in there.
thing. Like,
But the Asian couple, they was married. They
Yeah.
were straight. How did they?
he was a
what would be their
gambler.
sin?
He was a gambler,
Okay.
and she did black market business stuff. She was always running a general
And
store.
see, man, out of everybody, man, what Cornbread did, bro?
Okay.
What Cornbread did, bro?
I see
kept
what you
it
mean
sealed
now.
in.
I see what you mean.
Everybody done did something.
He didn't do
Ain't nobody
nothing.
perfect, but what?
His only sin was being too nice.
He
Too
was
gullible.
he was not even that he was too gullible. He was trusting in the wrong aspects of what he was doing.
Now, to keep it a brick, though, they didn't know vampires was going to be outside. It was supposed to be a regular night to get some money.
Right.
But,
Bro, just if he didn't go out to take a piss when he took a piss, he probably still been alive. Or a little bit longer.
you see what I'm saying? Delroy was an alcoholic. Mm-hmm. Sammy out here eating coochie. So that's how he gets plugged into it with Pearline. And we're looking at the poster. I'll probably pull the poster up for a minute of what we're looking at. So it's like,
And I mean,
the first two people that got bit by the vampire,
they're clan members.
they're clan members.
Yep.
So it's like everybody had their sins, but Cornbread didn't. He was minding his business.
Cornbread was too trusting. And
No. I'm
Hear
not
me-
letting that rock. I'm not letting
Hear
that
me
rock.
out when I say he was trusting.
All right.
He wanted to let them in. He wanted to let the vampires
white
in.
people?
Yeah. Cornbread was about to let them in because they were talking about spending money. And Cornbread, if at anything, was about his paper too. Because he's trying to make sure that whatever money he leave out of here with is going home to the family. So he a hustler. Hustlers always fall for that dollar.
I ain't riding. I hear you, but I ain't riding. I'm not going. I'm not moving on that, bro.
See,
I'm not moving.
And when he did get changed, didn't he kind of come off a bit of an Uncle Tom in your eyes too? Like, come on, man. Can't we all just fellowship and be together? Can't we all get along?
I ain't riding against cornbread. I refuse.
But that was before the fact.
No,
that was after the fact.
That was after the fact. Yeah,
you can't say that. Yeah, I'm with Quentin now. With
everybody had their little sin.
Yeah,
or major sin. Ain't nobody perfect, but everybody had their major sin that you could point out. Cornbread, all he did was listen to.
He was innocent as fuck, man.
He wasn't that innocent in my eyes.
You trying to hate on him, bro?
I don't hate on. I feel like I'm more cornbread than any of you niggas in this room on some real shit. Because the amount of times that I, in my past, have gone with people doing dumb shit, not y'all, other people that y'all know about that I used to hang with doing dumb shit. I was cornbread half the goddamn time.
That ain't a sin. Unless you know you about to go sin.
So why is he clean?
Cause
why
is
he clean?
No.
I was too.
He was providing protection and security.
I was too.
Was you out in the field?
Was I doing the dumb shit that they were doing? No. I was
anyway, man.
being cornbread in the situation.
Look into it. We already
you know what I'm saying?
Shout out to you if you still hanging through here. It's an hour 27, but we gonna keep riding though. We gonna keep riding. This is like just a podcast type of deal right here.
It really is.
So with that, you know what I'm saying? All right. So everything, we've identified all the sinners, all they sins basically.
Except we haven't gotten to the vampire yet, but we're about to get to him.
So with that, and there's all kind of layers going there. So they having a good time doing their thing. Then they pull up. The vampires pull up and say, hey, we trying to come spend some good money in here, you know what I'm saying? What's up with it? Da-da-da. And they like, man, y'all better move around, bro. What y'all got going on?
Go on,
and they said, oh, but we sang. And then they sung the driest song possible.
What's crazy is that song wasn't that bad.
When you actually listen to it, if you listen to the lyrics, they pretty much snitch on themselves. If you listen to the lyrics,
yeah, I say sonically it wasn't bad, but it was dry
compared to what was already going on in the barn.
But think about it like this:
in the club.
Like, hey, can we get in the club with this? And they're like, nah, bro.
I mean, it sound alright, but this ain't what we playing over here.
But
now when he was outside, now they started bunking a little bit. He started going in outside a little bit. We'll get to that though.
Now think about it like this also. That's how the music business has always been. When it's in the hood and it's in the neighborhoods and stuff like that, we listen to the real shit. We listen to real, if you will, street shit. Like artists who are talking about shit. There's some party tracks, but we really are on some focused shit. And then you have people who are trying to be industry plants trying to get into the party. And for the most part, you have people like Cornbread.
That's a good point.
Who blocked them at the door, keeping them out like, y'all might want to move over there. The white folks is over there. They'll accept you more than we will. So you might want to go over there with that shit.
Very interesting symbolism. So they try to get in. They can't get in. They go sit on some logs outside.
Right.
Well, I wonder what made them sit there and wait now that I think about it. Instead of just going to town or going somewhere.
It's Predator. Predator prey.
It's like, Well, no, he saw the burning light. So he was like, oh, no, I got to get in there.
He saw Sammy come to the front, too, and he's like, let me in. I need to get to him.
All right, y'all stay there. You gotta keep going.
Like, the fact
there's something I want to say, but later.
Okay, so to even kind of go back, to progress, my homeboy Joey went and saw the movie. My boy Joey is white dude, country as hell. Redneck, if you will. Mm-hmm. And he went and saw Sinners. Mm-hmm. And when he saw that scene happen with the music and the performance and stuff like that, he was like, I get it, but it wasn't as life-changing as I thought it was going to be. When you told me about it. It wasn't as big as you made it out to be. And I'm like, fair enough, fine. And I asked him, so what do you think about the vampire? What did you think about him? He's like, he's just an embodiment of of European ignorance, or just ignorance in general. He's trying to use the fact of, I'm just like y'all. I've been oppressed. I've been put down. Let me in. Let me in. Let me like you. I'm like you. Come on, let me in. When you have similarities, but yours is still different than ours. And you're only wanting to get in for selfish regards. I can still see that. That's why I'm not letting you in.
Got you.
You know.
Interesting. So with that, okay, they go outside. And like we said, we're alluding to earlier,
Right.
Mary, she might not mean no harm.
No.
But she was like, they got bread. Let me go
get the money.
You know, I'm the intermediary. I can go into these different locations, do different things. So let me go out here, holler at them, see what they talking about, and then we could bring them back in and get this money. So she goes outside, talk to him, and she got bit out there, right?
Yep.
Because she turned her back. If she hadn't turned her back and should have kept facing him while she was walking back to the barn.
Yeah. But who would do that? Who would do that?
I would have, because of the way they was acting.
They were acting weird. And she was sitting all up next to him and everything.
And especially if you just pull a pistol on somebody, you gonna turn around after you just pulled a pistol on somebody? Hell no. I'm gonna hold that on you the entire time until you are out of my sight.
True. So
Fuck out of here.
okay, yeah, okay. So with that, we ain't gonna dive too far into the symbolism all the way down the tree.
Right.
But that can kind of be viewed as, like, in my opinion, kind of like a music exec or an A&R that has love for the music that they hearing. Like, hey man, I really mess with what you doing, bro. So let me go out here and talk to the industry,
Right.
or whatever. You know what I'm saying? As an intermediary, just to try to say, hey man, they real good. You need to mess with them, or
Right.
whatever. So she goes out there, get bit, obviously, and they let her back in. Now they let her back in because they don't know
She's bit.
she bit. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't realize that she's asking to come back in.
Right.
They don't really like, all right, come on back in. So she come back in, and then
She give up the gold, which, by the way, that should have been another, like, clue. Like, who walking around with gold in the blooms at that time period?
yeah,
Like, you still got people walking around with wooden nickels. And this dude's walking around with gold in the blooms? Shoot,
Right.
if I had been stacking smoke, I would have had Mary be like, okay, Mary, this is what we're going to do. You going to tell them to meet you over in this corner, and we're going to sneak up on their ass, and we're going to jack the fuck out of them for all the money they got and have them run back to white folks.
see, you could never be cornbread. He would never.
Yeah.
you just proved it.
The
He would
nigga has
never.
turned me into a stack. I used to be a cornbread nigga. Now I'm a stack. I can't help it.
But okay, but with that, okay, so Mary was talking to Stat, right?
Right.
So they go in there, they start doing what she doing, and then she spin it. Hey, all right, do what you do.
Yeah.
Spin his mouth. I'm like, hey, yo, all right,
for
cool,
real.
do you, bro?
Like,
And then she bit him, and they like, yo, Sammy come in like, okay, but then he like, whoa, nah.
right. No, what happened was Sammy
Sammy
saw it.
him, right? Yeah,
Smoke sent Sammy to go get Stacks.
right.
He saw him what he was doing. He's like,
saw on the net and thought they were just doing
messing
their thing.
around. He goes back to Smoke like, Stacks busy. I don't give a damn. Bring him back here. You don't want to bother him right now. Man, get the fuck out my goddamn way. And then
And
he
that's
goes.
when he went, yeah.
And he saw Mary on top, and he didn't even wait a second for her to try to explain herself. This nigga said, "Bitch,
I do kind of like that. He got right to it. He was got right to it.
He was
no,
like, nah, ain't no
what's going
talking.
on? Let's like, nah.
Nah, fuck that.
Now, what symbolism do y'all think that scene may have had? Because Sammy felt very guilty that, like, damn, I let him get bit. I ain't know it's my fault. Da 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 da. And his brother killed that. It's almost like, if we once again going with music, is it possible that I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to say, but is it possible that Sammy felt guilty? It could be like a reflection of somebody feeling guilty for letting parasites into
Culture
our
vultures.
culture.
Yeah, culture vultures in.
And like, there it is. There's the first little. She just getting a taste of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then she taking it out. Now she running out.
For me, more the symbolism for that scene is more Sammy feels guilty for letting what happened to Stax happen, even though Stax himself warned him, don't mess with her. She's dangerous. And instead of, Stax being on his business and actually being about that and realizing, oh shoot, I really shouldn't be messing with her, he slipped up. And when he slipped up, he got bit. And in a sense, Mary is a sign of people who want to be a part of the culture very badly and have even grown up in the spaces, but there's always that little bit of a factor of keeping them out fully.
Do you agree or disagree? Do you think the scene was just a scene? It could just be a scene.
I don't think it was just a scene. I rock with what y'all are saying about it being like what's the term you use? Culture vulture.
Mm-hmm.
Like she had that type of mentality. I'm kind of going. I think I'm kind of going at it from this angle. Like basically what I was talking about earlier, like with how these lighter skinned women can get us dark skinned niggas in trouble. And I know that's such a I feel like people would be looking at me like, oh, that's all you see or whatever, but yeah, I mean
Fair.
I kind of like
Fair. I mean,
she ain't nothing but trouble. You know what I mean? Like, and you see that a lot of times. And I can't really think of a scenario.
It is like we talked about earlier. How they say, "Hey, don't mess with her. You don't get in trouble messing with her." It does kind of represent that.
The light skinned bras gonna get you in trouble.
The one dude that had the one light skin or white chick invited all this trouble into the
Look at the movie Malcolm X.
It's crazy.
If Malcolm hadn't have been messing with that white girl,
him and Shorty wouldn't have went to jail.
They wouldn't have gone to jail.
And them bitches didn't even go to jail.
They went one of them went scot-free back home to her little judge of a husband, and the other one got strung out. That was it. That was the worst that happened. One of them got strung out. That's it.
Okay.
First of all, disclaimer. Y'all out there, I don't have anything against lighter skinned women. I mean, my wife is Puerto Rican.
His wife is lighter skinned.
Yeah, but I'm just we talking about symbolism right now. That has always been a thing. Like growing up being a black man, you know what I'm saying? I've had my mama tell me stuff like, don't talk to these white chicks or whatever.
I've had my aunts corner me in the kitchen and tell me, boy, don't you bring no white girl home.
Talking about corner me in the kitchen.
Literally, corner me in the goddamn kitchen.
We're talking about symbolism here. That's kind of what I got out of that. But like, again, disclaimer. I rock with what y'all are saying about, I didn't even think of it that way. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
I'm just thinking about it because it leads into what I think other pieces of the movie mean. Mm-hmm. I know people got breakdowns and all that out there. We ain't watched none of that. So this is just coming off the dome what we think.
Right.
Our real interpretation. Because some people watch a lot of breakdowns, take points, and then try to transform it and act like they came up with it. Nah, that's cap. We ain't doing that.
I'll say this. There's one point that we're about to get to that I saw somebody else break down after I watched the movie, and I saw somebody did like a Instagram short breaking this particular part of the scene down. And yes, I want to bring it up because it kind of leads back to another part of the conversation we were having earlier.
Okay. See, and that's cool. You doing a disclaimer. I'm talking about people that just say it and that like it came out of here.
Right.
Yeah. You giving a disclaimer saying this is very specifically from somewhere else. You know what I mean? And
I forget the clip or the podcast I saw it come from. A bunch of brothers who very intelligent. If you happen to see it and it sounds like that clip, just tag them up under it so everybody can see the original clip.
Okay. So with that, now chaos starts.
Yeah.
She runs outside like a psycho. She get out after getting shot. They're like, man, he just shot her up and she just ran out the door.
Right. No, she didn't even run. She walked. Technically.
So-
she technically kind of fast walked out the damn door.
So she gets out, the door closes, and then, not infamous, but one of the scenes that always makes me tense up in any movie because I'm just like, oh, come on, we doing this, is the hole in the door scene where somebody always putting their eye right to the door.
Hold up, before we
After
get to
he
the...
put a knife through
Yeah.
it. Bro, who would put their eye? Why would you put your eye right?
Hold
I
up.
was just waiting on a...
Before
Yeah.
we get to that scene, back up a little bit.
Let's go.
So, getting to the scene that I was actually talking about a few seconds ago. Everybody's wigging out, Stack's dead, and the Asian couple pulls themselves to the side, and the wife goes, we need to go.
Mm-hmm.
And her husband's like, wait, Stack's dead, you just gonna leave now? And the wife says, we are here for the business. We're not here for this. We have a daughter at home, we need to go.
Yeah.
That is...
It's interesting. I kind of hear something now.
Now, as the guy in the video says, that is how the Asian culture has always worked with us. When there's money to be made and business going on, they right there in the thick of it with us. But the moment some dumb shit jump off, or we need to stand on some kind of social graces, that's not our problem.
Y'all got it. We out of here.
They
We
bounce.
did what we did.
A
Yeah.
lot of them
Yeah.
bounce.
So I didn't want to jump into that
most
too
of
early.
them. Not most of them, but a good number of them will be like, not my problem.
True, yeah. So when I was alluding to us working together as a community, I knew it was gonna get here. So good tie-in is like, once again, beauty stores, spas where the ladies get their nails done and all that. They'll provide the service and everything, especially in hood locations in particular.
Oh, yeah.
Will extract the money, but if it comes to like, let's say Black Lives Matter, whether whoever believe in it or not, just as an example. You might see a few out there, but
Right.
as a whole, they're like, oh, that's y'all.
That's y'all business.
We here to provide a service and extract the money, and we on our way.
And
So that's the limit of our connection
Right.
in many cases. Not now overall in general, but in many cases, that's the limit of the connection. We get y'all money, and outside of that, we ain't dealing with y'all like that.
And I did find it weird when they were having their moment where they were being attacked and stuff like that. They automatically looked at us, the black community, and were like, why aren't y'all here helping us? Where are y'all at? Y'all supposed to be with us. And it's like, motherfucker, you have the money. What else do you want?
You still talking about Grace Chow and
Like,
Bo Chow?
not even them.
Just the dynamic.
The
Okay, I
dynamic
got you.
between the black community and the Asian community. When there's
Okay.
something wrong in their community, they expect us to be full tilt on the front lines with them, hand in hand, holding them up. Oh, we shall overcome. But when it's time for them to be on our end, they're at the house.
I got what you're saying.
So it's a bit of a double standard in certain aspects. I do see bit of double standard. And she screws everything up.
Sure
That
did.
woman screwed
Sure
everybody.
did. Alright, so we'll get there. Alright, so we already pretty much right there. She walk out, they trying to figure out what's going on. It didn't got real, he did. She like, look, we came here to get money, we got money. It's time for us to go.
Right. We gotta go
So
take care
then
of
he
the
like,
babies.
yo, you know what I'm saying? I'm cool with him for real. Like, yeah, that's cool. We got a daughter. We can sympathize with that. Cool, but dang, like, I mean, he right there dead. Wherever your daughter is, shit, hopefully
Shit,
she'll be alright a
home.
little bit longer.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we got that situation, and then they trying to figure out what's going on, and then they come back up to the door, and that's when Miss Annie is right there, and they all looking. Well, actually, gotta go back just a little bit. All this goes on. Cornbread. Go outside.
Take a
brother
piss.
just needed to use the bathroom, bro.
The nigga
He
need
just
a
wanted to
piss.
use the bathroom.
The
That's it.
nigga need a bathroom
He get
break.
bit. He come back to the door.
We didn't even see him get bit. We just saw him go off into the woods and take a leak.
I was hoping he'd just like they have us thinking that he got bit, but then he come in like, oh yeah, I'm good, and then somebody else be like, oh, what's going on? Cornbread
Right.
barely mad. Boy, he a bit out mad. I ain't gonna lie, I was mad for like 15 minutes. I couldn't even process. I was like, I knew it. I knew it an hour ago how they was gonna do my boy. But anyway, Cornbread come back up, and obviously he looked a little
Come on,
crazy.
y'all. can't we all fellowship, get together?
He trying to get back in, and that's when they they just having a conversation, and she like, hold on, Annie right there. She like, why you keep asking? You big enough to get by any of us. And
that's right. That's the thing. Like, the motherfuckers, Cornbread, Mary, like, they asked if they can get back in.
Yeah.
What was the whole thing with that? Do y'all think that's some kind of symbolism?
Okay,
there?
so the way Mary asked to get back in, she was fucking with Cornbread. Like, she kind of asked it in a sense of, can I get back in? Like, jokingly. To where, you know, they're familiar with each other. So in his eyes, she's just making small talk while she's going back inside. Yeah, come on in.
So Cornbread, like, why did he ask?
He's a vampire, but at the same time, he wasn't as clever as she was about it. He's just, hey, y'all, let me back in.
So yeah, on a deeper level. So on the surface level, absolutely correct.
Right.
For the story, as a vampire, I don't know if this is real vampire lore or not. I have no idea. But at least in this universe, they have to ask. You have to be invited in order to get back in.
Yes.
That's just a rule for demons, vampires, whatever in the story. On a deeper level, I think it, to a degree, kind of symbolizes people have to ask to come into our culture.
Yep.
They can't just come in.
Okay.
And if you invite them in, whatever happens after that
is on you.
And it's very interesting that vampires were used because leeching, sucking away. Mm-hmm. When you invite somebody in and they suck your culture away, you invited them in to do that.
That's why I rock with this movie so heavy, man.
So that's
so much
because that to me that's a key point in the movie. Mm-hmm. Is the whole point is sinners. It's symbolism to show, hey, they can't take the culture if we don't let them in.
Yeah,
so that's why they kept saying, hey, let me in. That's why it's based on music. He wants to get in there. It's exciting. To me, that was a big theme. I thought about that immediately in the theater. I was like, oh, that's cool symbolism if it's what I think it is. And it's just like, nah, you can't come in. If you just say no, they can't come in. But when they do, and then they start, leeching.
Right.
It is what it is. It's your fault because y'all invited them in.
Right.
They have to ask to come in. You can't just come in.
And when they even ask him, why are y'all doing this to us? And it's like, y'all have a light, and I want to be a part of it. I want to
slow down. So she figured out, like, oh no, he can't just come in.
Right.
He got to ask to come in. So
and then Smoke put his freaking arm right there, and Cornbread goes, bang.
Right, he was about to get him right there. So now they figure out, like, oh snap.
Your boy's face was messed up for the rest of the movie, which I thought was some bullshit too. Now, that's fucked up. You're forever fucked up in the face now.
Yep.
Like, no healing factor.
I ain't really think about that, but
like, no healing factor as a vampire, and
maybe it takes some time to key out. But yeah, so we got that, and now they freaking out. Now they know what's going on a little bit, and it was like, hey y'all, we could hurt them with garlic, we could hurt them with spears and all this kind of stuff. They saddling up, they ready to ride. Usually, like, they can't come in. We could just wait it out till the morning. You know what I'm saying? We could just chill, relax, but muscle up while we can. And then your girl, Stacks. They start.
Wait, was that before Stacks got out or after he got out? Because he was still in the building at one point in time, and then he had to leave.
He knocked the door over.
Yeah, that's before. That was after Cornbread. They figure out Cornbread's one of these damn things, and then they're like, "What the fuck is going on?" And then, hey, bro, let me out of here.
Yeah.
Let me out of here.
Dead ass, get out. And then, okay, so now we're coming back circle. I know we jumping around a little bit,
right?
But the hole in the door. Many movies do that. I can't stand it. Only a few actually really do so. I've only seen a few where it's actually something happened.
Right.
Normally it's a fast cut where somebody eyeball gets stabbed or something crazy like that.
And I agree.
But I still
Why
can't
did you stick your eye close to that
just
damn hole?
Logical. So on top of me being like, oh, here we go. At the same time, it's just logically don't make sense. If I see somebody poke a hole through a door with a knife, my first thought ain't gonna be, man, let me put my eye right where the knife just came, so I could look to see what's. Who would do that? Explain it to me.
A fool.
And multiple people did it. Come on, man. Like, bro, what? You saw what he did,
right?
But anyway, so that happens. Then he ends up knocking it. So when did he get out before they all came in?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Because he was outside talking to him. Also, he was with Mary, arm in arm, trying to tell Smoke, you and Annie can be just like us.
Right now you can get into your bag that you was getting into,
like
where you were talking about, hey, they're trying to convince him, like,
yo, join us. Do you see these two white folks right here? Their uncle happens to be the person who sold you the building. He wants to kill y'all later on tomorrow. We'll just wait until they get here and eat them, and they'll be a part of us too. And everything's fine. And it's like, wait, you want to incorporate racist folks into the group also. It's fine. Their knowledge will become our knowledge, and then we're all one. And it's like, that's how you think you can beat racism. That's not how that works. Like, I get the idea that people have that, you know, if a man walks in your shoes, he'll understand you better. Okay, that's a bit of truth to that. There's some truth to that. But at the same time, there are just certain people that will never try to understand you, no matter how many times you can put them in your size 15s. They will never want to understand you.
true enough.
And the idea that you think that we could come together and, you know, I used to be a racist, but now I love niggers. That don't happen often. That kind of shit does not ever happen. Like, think about it. How many racist motherfuckers did we go to high school with? And how
Probably
many
more than we realize.
Yeah. And how many of those same people come around today that you could see right now walking down the street and go, hey, buddy, and have them come in the room and kick it with us?
I don't know. Well, I don't know. I don't know nobody that was outwardly racist because they would get their ass beat.
I do. I know a couple of
So you got to speak on it because I don't know nobody that was just straight up.
I know
man,
one
I don't
dude
like
who has one testicle because his brother hit him in the nuts with a bat when they were little kids.
We need a rambling button, bro.
Yeah, this is a rambling.
All right, let's get back. Let's
Rambling
get back.
to this
Anyway,
Let's get back to it. Let's get back to it. Let's
ramble
get
later.
back to it.
We'll talk about that later.
So, point being, you don't believe that some people can redeem themselves. You think it's possible, but it doesn't happen often.
No, there are some people that, you know, they can admit, I see the error of my ways. I've grown. But for the most part, can you fully trust that person? Even though they told you where they fucked up or where they were a messed up person, can you truly trust that?
True. All right. So with that,
Right.
now they finally, you know, they say, hey, we know you got a daughter
To the
Grace Child,
yeah.
and then she's like, I can't take it. You might come on, bring it up.
Bring it on,
So I was just
motherfuckers.
like,
Child.
I ain't even got no symbolism for that. I was just like, man, she's stupid.
She really was.
The lack of emotional control is insane. But I understand using the daughter as a trigger word. We'll go get your daughter then.
She'll
So I
join
can
us
understand
too.
that being a trigger. But it's like, bro, you know what they trying to do. You know what they trying to do, and you just did it.
Bring it on, motherfuckers.
So now she invited me in. They like, oh my
You
god,
dumb bitch.
I ain't gonna hold you. Once I saw her breaking down a little bit, and I was like, oh, she about to crack. She should have been right by that door.
Eat her.
Hey, Bo, I know that's your lady.
Here's your wife back, bro. Here's your wife.
You could go if you can go with it if you want to, but she about to get us all killed. So, just me personally, if I just saw her breaking down like that, I would have eased her right to the door. Go get your back in. Here go the keys. Good luck.
Either that or
Call
I would've been
it
like,
savage if you want, but if I see a weak link and this do or die, you gotta go. You gotta go.
either that or I would have been like, she gonna break. Oh well, one less person to help us.
Now, I ain't gonna lie, that's even more awkward. Now you calling an internal conflict in there.
How's that internal conflict?
Because now Bo gonna be on your ass because that's his wife you just shot.
Bo dead.
When
Bo
did he die?
dead.
At that point, he was still alive.
No, he was dead. He was outside with them. He was the main reason
Oh,
why
because
they
they trying to
tried
go to the car.
Yeah, he did go get the car.
Okay.
We didn't know he was dead, though.
No,
Not
we
at
did.
that point.
I knew he was dead as soon as he walked out
Okay.
that motherfucking door.
If he was outside,
Yeah,
then okay,
because
the
remember,
execution might be alright.
because remember, she ends up killing him and herself at the same time.
Yeah, he set her ass on fire.
Yeah, true. Okay. So I recant that.
Yeah.
If he outside, then the execution might be alright. Like, hey, bro, she had to go, dog. She had to. You up? Boop. She was about to break. She was about to break. The movie would have been a lot shorter. A lot less to say, all right, y'all, I'm going to take a nap, man. Y'all would,
Yep.
they can't get in. What they going to do?
They can sit outside and burn to death. Have a nice night.
But all right, bro.
We gonna get y'all. Y'all ain't getting shit. Shut the fuck up.
All right, bro. I'm gonna take a nap. Wake up. The movie would have been short.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm with you now.
Yep.
I thought he was still in there. I was gonna say, if he in there, now he got smoked with you, can you just take his wife out?
Yeah.
Nah.
But if he already outside, go ahead. Your husband in the car. Hey, beat the horn. She'll run to the car. All right, we'll see you later. Good luck.
Right.
Woo. Gone. You know what I'm saying?
He was the reason why. He was the one saying that stuff to her at first. And hell, the white dude was talking Mandarin to her at one point in time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because they had taken Bo. Because how
Yeah.
many white men you know what know Mandarin? But anyway, but like, yeah, he literally was like, she's like, they're telling her, bruh, they're fucking with you. They're literally fucking with you. Your daughter is fine.
Yeah.
They're trying to get us right now. They could have easily, he could have easily, as soon as he got changed, oh, I'll be back. Where you going? Oh, that's where you're going. Okay, bring her back.
Right. So now we got chaos. They fighting. Everything goes crazy. We ain't got to go into crazy detail about
Right.
that part, but you know, chaos, stabbing going on everywhere. They fighting. They doing their thing. Oh, do we want to talk about the outside music scene?
Where they're standing around
Led by Remy.
dancing and singing
Talking
that
about the
damn
vampires?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually about to bring that up.
Alright,
That
let's get it.
shit was fucking creepy, dog.
It was.
Like that was actually one of the creepiest parts of the movie.
Did it
I ain't
kind of
gonna lie,
remind you
it
of
was jamming a
Thriller?
little bit.
Is it
It
me?
was.
Now they
Does it
join
remind you of
at,
Thriller?
they join at the door. Hold on. They join at the door. Nah, I ain't rocking with that. But outside, I was like, that's kind of stepping a little bit. I ain't gonna lie.
That's
It kind of
the
reminded
thing,
me
though.
of Thriller.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Thriller.
I ain't actually
Like on
think
some real
about that.
shit.
But yeah, it was like that. Like you said, that song was actually jumping.
But all right.
Just look at how the fuck they're fucking vampires, and like the way their eyes was looking, and they had these smiles on their face. That shit looked like.
And your boy
They
Corbett
look like
just
demons.
shot in the face, river dancing.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
Man,
Yeah.
I'll wait for somebody to start crumping or something out there, man. Say, hey, we done adopted a little bit of what y'all got now.
can we also talk about the fact of they accidentally put a nigga to death?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
the
That
dude
yeah.
brother was-
down.
Dude,
Yeah.
Brother was
Vampire.
drunk, laid the fuck out in some wine, minding his business, just sleep. Could have possibly outlived everybody in the whole movie if he had just stayed there. But no, they're like, oh, he did too. Throw his ass out.
Yeah.
And then
Hey.
he tried to get back in.
Hey, let me back in.
Yeah, and
Help
he was
me
asking.
out.
Like, he sound regular. And by the time they got there, boom, that's a wrap. But it's almost like for being an alcoholic, or maybe not an alcoholic, but getting that super drunk, it's almost like everybody paid for their sins. Sinners,
I mean,
pretty much.
yeah,
To a degree.
he paid, and they also could have saved themselves a lot more trouble if they had just kept everybody inside instead of once Mary went outside. All right, we all staying in here, lock the building down. We gonna figure some shit out. Y'all just enjoy some food, entertainment. We gonna talk.
They know. Why would they do that though? How would they know to do that?
Fair enough. My wife said the same thing, but hell, it just.
So we, all right. So we, little bit. We about to hit 2 hours, but we about to wrap it up.
Yeah.
We getting up.
Annie was a G for what she said too. Like, if I get bit, kill me, nigga. Don't know. I don't want to live through this shit. I don't want to be one of these living sinners. Kill me.
Yep. So the fight is ensuing. Everybody's dying left and right, and you kind of see people trying to sacrifice themselves, etc. And it's like the cannibalization of the culture.
Yeah.
Right.
To a degree where it's like, oh man, they taking over to a point where it's gonna
Delta
look like
Slim.
it want us.
Yeah. Delta
That's like
Slim.
Rock, for instance. You don't associate us with Rock, but that's us.
Yeah.
That's us.
That was.
That's us. But that's crazy how it's flipped so crazy. I was thinking about that with rap. That is like, if it keeps going in a certain trend, we still got it on lock for sure. But it, in a similar manner, what if we get so far down the timeline that rap is no longer viewed as a black
genre.
genre? And you was like, that would never happen. Once again, rock.
And then what
And
again?
that's crazy to think about. Like, damn, that was ours.
And
we don't even.
that wasn't that
We
long
listened
ago.
to some of it. You know
That
what I mean?
technically
But
wasn't long ago.
widely viewed, you don't like it. You looked at it as odd if you a black person that listens to rock, create rock music, stuff like that. And it's like, bro, this is odd. Like, what you mean? Like black people were some of the first cowboys,
Right.
and you don't really associate us with that. So it's kind of
Anymore.
scary premonition. Like, hey man, you got to be protective. So the
you have
culture
something.
remains true,
Right.
the way it should. But they're battling. So that's how I kind of view all that. It's just like trying to fight against the cannibalism of the culture, the arts, etc. And then we have the end. I ain't gonna say anticlimactic because all the fight scenes and everything was pretty good. It was more about the journey to me in this movie.
Yeah.
But they get the fight and then the demon, he come out the water and all that kind of stuff, and Sammy uses the guitar and he holds on to the end of the guitar. I'm gonna get into what I think that is. I mean, thematically we already kind of getting there. But anything y'all want to say about the ending, the fights, anything like that?
I love the fact that Sammy, the whole movie, for the most part, thought that guitar was like some famous musician that he loved listening to his guitar, and his cousins won that for him. And the way he ends up killing old boy with it at the end, where he just like that was symbolic. But at the same time, it was like, God dang, I cannot wait to find out how they really got this guitar.
Any thoughts about the fights?
About the fights.
In the end, him killing the demon. My mind already beyond that part. That part is cool, but it's
Yeah,
Delta Slim's
that's pretty
part-
much what I'm thinking. Like
that's like for the
beyond.
movie.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. All right, so we
Delta
cool.
Slim's dying was fucked up. The way Delta died was kind of fucked.
How'd he die? Remind me.
He sacrificed himself.
He pretty much told everybody to go upstairs and to jump out the
I
barn
remember that
door,
part.
and then
And they just bit at him, right?
they pretty much tore him to shreds.
Yeah.
They tore him up and ate him to death, and it was for naught because literally nobody really made it out except Sammy. I guess technically Smoke made it out.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah, he
Smoke
did. From the
What do you mean
vampires, at
technically?
least.
What do you mean technically made it out?
I
From-
mean,
from
he
the vampires
vampire
he did.
attack. He made it from that.
We're
That's
gonna
not how
get
he
into
dies.
that. You think
Okay.
you made it, but he
Yeah.
ain't.
Okay,
To me,
I
he-
see what y'all think.
Yeah.
I
He
see what y'all thinking.
100% to me didn't make
I
it.
see what y'all think.
Mhm.
I
But-
see how y'all are thinking.
Now
But
I actually
yeah.
want to talk about his death scene,
And that
too.
close to the sunrise, God dang, Delta, yeah, right there. But yeah, all that happens. Hit him with the guitar. He's hanging on to the guitar, and gets to a point where he hops back in. The sun comes up. Smoke stays right.
because the clans
You know
coming.
they coming.
Yeah.
He's shaking. That's where we get to the incredible part from the
Trailer.
trailer. We get there. So which route y'all want to talk about first? Smoke or Sammy?
I say we talk about Sammy's first because with the way. Actually, let's talk about Smoke because that's more of a definitive ending, and Sammy keeps going on. So I say we talk about Smoke's
All right, bet. Go ahead.
stuff. With Smoke, honestly, with him, them making the mention of the whole military background, him setting up the whole scene, and him wiping out the clan the way he does with the Tommy gun and everything.
That joke was hard.
That shit was nice. I enjoyed it. I loved every single piece of that.
And I like how dude was talking at the end or trying to talk like, "Hey man, da da da." He,
no,
Yeah.
it wasn't it wasn't no light little.
Now
Oh,
let's-
he gonna make it like no,
And
no,
notice
no.
throughout most of the movie, Smoke is smoking. The entire time he smokes. And even when he's about to die, he's like, let me get one last cigarette in. And he looks and he sees Annie with the baby, and what does she say to him? Put that out if you want to hold this child. Put it out. And he puts it out and goes to reach, and the man's like, please help me. I'll give you money, whatever you want. And what he really wants is right there. You can't give him what he wants. Fuck you. Rah! Get the fuck out the way. Give me my baby.
Yeah, so to me, that's why I say he for sure died. Because we
Yeah.
know she died.
Yeah.
So if
See,
he's seeing
y'all
her.
y'all are schooling me right now because I didn't look at it like that.
So what did you see?
What did you see?
To me, that was just cut
Nah,
and dry.
I
Like,
was-
he clearly did.
Yeah, it's like what y'all are saying right now is pretty damn obvious what happened when you look at it from that angle.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was my first time seeing the movie.
Same.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I looked at it as if this nigga survived, and he actually took all them motherfuckers out,
Mhm.
and and him seeing, like yeah, he got that one last smoke, and he looked to his left or his right or whatever it was, and he saw Annie and his child there, and you know she was sitting there talking to him. Shit, that was one of the parts that I got emotional on, most definitely, because I looked at it as if like, this like he survived, right, and what he's seeing, like Annie and the baby,
Mhm.
that's kind of like what's in your head, like. Cause like you can think of like ones that the ones that have passed on and all that shit, and he's
Yeah.
just remembering her. That's kind of how I took it.
Now, if they say sinners too, then you be like, oh, you
Hold
got
up
it.
now.
That's
Hold
what
up
I'm
now.
saying.
You got it. So you could be right. Who knows?
Right.
To me, I view it as, oh, he dead. He's in heaven.
Yeah.
He's
See,
in heaven right now.
He's-
But that's the beauty of art appreciation when it comes
Yeah.
to watching movies and shit. Like, because that was my angle. That's how I saw it.
Right.
Hey, they
But
didn't
both
show
of
him in no casket, so.
Right.
So
And
there
my-
you go.
And the fact that she kept making mention that when they were about to go through that last scene, she's like, I'm going to go be with our daughter. Somebody who's waiting to see both of us on the other end. And, Smoke technically
Fair
got his
point.
family.
It could be a sinners too.
Yeah.
They could be very interesting.
Like-
all right. Oh, go ahead.
No. And also the fact that, we barely touched on the fact of Smoke and Stack's relationship is two different sides of the same coin. Smoke wanted a family. Stack wanted to be free and have fun with his life. That's how, at least my eyes, I've always seen my mindset being. There's always that side of me that wants to take care of family, wants to be there for my loved ones and do what I can. But there's always that wild side. And it's just wanting to stack the deck and have fun and not care. Not have to worry about that stuff. Use wood nickels, whatever. We'll figure out what to do with it later.
Right.
Everybody's just trying to have a good time.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now let's go down Sammy's route. So he drives back, and we get the scene that we got at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
He's holding the guitar. Well, he gets in the car first. He drives off, and he's like, man, what in the world just happened? Holding the guitar, he runs in there, to the church. And then basically that's the end of the movie, yeah?
Yeah.
So he said,
Wait a minute.
No,
Whoa.
no. He
Hold on.
goes in the church. His
That's what I'm about to
daddy,
say, yeah.
his daddy's like, join me. And he's like, no. And he hops back in the car and he takes off. He left. He didn't stay at the church. He left.
Right.
And then he ends up becoming the musician that we see, like, performing in 92.
Yes. So rewind just a little bit. The key, that happened right after what I'm thinking about. Is I ain't gonna say the highlight, but one of the most important pieces to that was holding the guitar, and he was saying, "Let go of the guitar." And then we see that he didn't let go of the guitar.
He wouldn't let it
Very interesting symbolism. Once again, getting into a deeper layer.
Yeah.
That could almost be like what Delta Slim told him: don't let go of the culture
go. Right.
that you got. Don't let go of the arts. This is ours. This is what we do. Like you said, don't let go. So I kind of viewed that as him saying, I'm not letting go
Of all
of the
these-
culture of what we got.
Right.
Because at the beginning I was like, what's symbolic about the guitar? What does it mean? So that's how I interpreted that, was him just not letting go of the culture.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why that was a critical point. And I wonder what the religious meanings or ideas behind it is. Obviously with it being called sinners, but him basically rejecting the church and Christianity and say, I reject that. I'm going to hang on to the ways of sinning aka the culture. So it's another layer there. What is that really saying about religion? Saying, hey, nah, I reject that. I'm a sinner. That's who I'm gonna be. If hell's where I go, that's what I accept. So is that another thing? But the first layer to me is definitely holding on to the culture, the soul, and all that. That's why he was holding on so tight. But that second layer about, you know, rejecting Christianity versus sinning, that could be interesting. So that's what I think was the most important part of that last scene.
See,
now this has to be said by me before this ends. I told Quentin already, but do you know that this movie was, I'm gonna say, loosely based on a true story?
I could see that.
Now, there's a guy back in these times, like whenever this was 19 whatever, 20 something. There was a guy named Robert Johnson.
That's the Devil Crossroads guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's the guitar. That's the guitar they're talking about.
The story goes that this is, I don't know if it's the first artist, but he is a music artist who so-called made a deal with the devil.
Yeah,
because he wasn't good on the guitar, harmonica, or whatever. And then just all of a sudden he became this crazy, he making hit after hit after hit, and then just one day he just disappeared.
Well,
so okay, hold on. I have seen videos about this story, etc.
He shows up in "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" too.
Who does?
Robert. Yeah,
really.
His the black character that's played by that rapper who's in the movie, who's playing the guitar.
I never seen that movie.
You never seen Brother, Where Art Thou? Okay.
I haven't.
So there's a brother in there. It's the same dude who sings the song "My Life Is All I Have." My rhymes, my pen.
Pharoah Monch.
Yeah, he's in that movie, and he plays that dude you're talking about.
Oh yeah.
Where they meet him on the side of the road, and he's like, "Yeah, I got this guitar from somebody, and you know, like, did you sell your soul to get it?" And he's like, "Kinda." And then he ends up playing the guitar for him, and he ends up making them a band.
So not to break the lore too crazy. I've heard that story. I've actually heard it several times.
Yeah.
Different variations, etc. There's actually a pretty good old school movie that's something similar, but I forgot the name of it, but it stars Steve Vai. Well, not stars, but he's the main antagonist. It's a really good goddamn movie. What is the name of that movie? It's like called Crossroads or something like that. You would probably like the shit. It's like from the 80s or some shit. And Steve Vai is the main one that like sold his soul. The other kid didn't. And he practiced and got better, and they have like this crazy ass guitar battle at the end. Right. That junk is fire. But anyway, with this story, I watched a few breakdowns, but long story short, if you like stories like this, you know, keep believing it, whatever. Right. But long story short, the breakdown, I wish I knew the name of the channel so I could shout them out, but they did all the research, or a lot of research, and basically it just comes across as a story that tried to give a reason why a nigga was able to play the guitar better than everybody else.
Wow.
Back in the day. So it was a story fabricated to say a nigga can't be this good at playing no damn guitar.
Yeah.
So they said he had to sell his soul to the devil. So it's cap. It's cap. It's just a way to make it seem magical.
Now in the movie Sinners, that part when the vampires they came to the door, and like, you know, everybody was at the door like trying to see what the hell was going on or whatever. And the main vampire, Remmit, that's his name. Remmit. What did he say to Sammy? I want you. Like he basically that's the whole thing. Like, you know, that's the devil saying, "Hey, I want you." Like it's kind of like what's going on here in this story with Robert Johnson, and like making a deal with the devil.
And Sammy's dad even says, if you keep going out knocking at the door, the devil's gonna answer you one day.
Yeah.
And it's like, demon,
very
devil, interesting.
Now,
but
y'all both stayed for the end credits?
I did.
Yeah, that's what I was about to get at. Like, so hopefully y'all did.
At first, I was like, "Oh shit, that's what it's based on a true story." I got to looking up immediately, and they said, "Oh, this is I think Miles. Is it Miles Canton Sr. or something?" I forgot what's the guy's name, but he was at the end of the movie. I was like, I know this ain't based on the real story, and the real dude actually there with a scar, but it's prosthetics and shit.
Right. Yeah.
But I was like, damn, my jaw dropped.
Right.
If that would have just been like, nah, this is really him and his face, and that's his story that he said how he got his scar.
Right.
I was like, this shit is out of this world. It's already a great movie. Don't get switched. It's already a great movie. Still go see it.
Please do.
But if that was the case, then it was real. Like, yeah, that's my story. Man, that shit would have been out of this universe.
Right.
My jaw dropped.
You a lying ass nigga. You
But
a
they said,
lying-
nah. This is just an active player right now.
I did the same thing you did, man.
I Googled immediately.
Yeah.
I said, boy, ain't no way.
But like while watching the movie, like I remember this story of Robert Johnson. So I picked up on that. You know what I mean? Like when they talking about music and devils and things like that. Like, and the guitar player, that sounds awfully like Robert Johnson.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, man, that joint is absolutely fire. Incredible movie. Long story short, it just seems like a representation of many things, many layers. Go ahead.
We ain't finished yet. I mean,
what else you got?
The fact that, he's playing at that juke joint in 92 of all time periods, and he's just minding his business. And who comes walking back into the bar to pay him a visit? But Stack.
Stack and Mary.
And the fact that Stack was wearing a Coogee sweater really kind of made me a little bit like, this nigga here.
That fit was sweet, man.
It was nice. It was nice.
It was kind of cold.
But why she gotta wear the salt? Why does she have to wear the salt and pepper jacket?
She mixed, bro.
Like, goddamn. Like, goddamn.
Come on, man.
That salt and pepper
mixed.
jacket was
It's
not
enough.
necessary. That was not necessary. But the fact that he said that they kind of went up to him and was like, yeah, Smoke made me promise to leave you alone and let you live your life. But, you old now, and, if you still want to stay around, we can make that happen if you want. Like, just let us know. And he's like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, they both said it was like their best day up until that point. One of the best days they ever had.
Right.
That junk, man. Like, what? Like, man, I'm trying to find out the guy's actual name.
The old dude?
Yeah.
And see,
but go ahead.
I'm trying to think.
Anything else you guys got?
I'm trying to
Well,
think.
from a symbolism perspective, now with
Pretty much the whole
us
movie.
giving our thoughts and ideas in particular about vampire and legion and why they invited in, how do you view the movie any differently with those ideas in your head?
I basically knew that you knew that the movie was the symbolism of the movie had something to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing Bradley's perspective on it, your perspective on it, it makes me just appreciate the movie more, because it reveals to me now that that there's a lot of important symbolism in the movie, and a lot of it has to do with music and shit, just the culture.
Okay.
And this movie is a masterpiece, man.
I would agree. So I found the guy. His name is Buddy Guy.
Buddy Guy. Yeah.
Miles Canton just sang. I mean, I know he's the artist. He's obviously the star. That's why I was like, it ain't Miles Canton. But that just sounds like an OG blues name itself, Miles Canton. But Buddy
Miles
Guy
Canton
is the name of the artist that was at the end. But Buddy Guy, initially when I saw him and he had the scar, like I said, I thought that was really
real.
him. I was like, man, this is the best movie in the universe. Man, if that was based on a true story, that would have been insane.
It would have.
But still very strong effort from Ryan Coogler.
Yes.
Great movie. And with that, what are any negatives that you guys have about the movie, if any?
My negative would be the idea that, like,
that it ended, bro. Real talk, man.
For me, that whole, I get why we had the Klan in it, but at the same time, it didn't feel like we really needed that element of that movie too.
The Klan?
Yeah. Like, we didn't need that
Why not?
in it because we already had the vampires. So if you take out the whole aspect and the idea that the clan were coming back later that day, if Smoke had just left with Sammy, he possibly would have lived.
But then, where would he go?
I mean, yet he would
He
have
can't
been
go
on
back
the
to
run
Chicago
because he's on the run.
And then out there, even if he just stayed out around the way, they gonna find him somewhere.
Right. So, in my opinion, also, I would have liked to have seen, if they do a Sinners 2, I'd like to see it where it's Stax and Mary going back to Chicago, and Stax having this ability and being like, "Oh, I'm about to take over Chicago."
You know what? I ain't even think about that, bruh. I ain't even think about that. They could definitely make a Sinners 2 if they decide to do so, with them being the vampires now.
Yeah.
And now he taking people down, you
And
know.
doing what he feels is right with
Wow.
these abilities. You know, that's
That
just
is-
an idea.
I think just my gut tell me Coogler gonna leave this alone. He just gonna let it be a
Yeah.
standalone piece, and he
I
ain't
think
gonna
he
do nothing.
should.
He should leave it
alone, man.
Just to leave the legacy intact fully.
Because there's just there's
don't wanna mess
such
with
classics that are made, you know, as far as movies go,
Like Harlem
that they
Nights.
just need to stay where they're at.
Right.
Like the way it ended, how it made you feel. Like you kind of just want shit to just
Stay there.
You don't want nothing to sour it.
Right.
yeah.
Like a 2 that ain't as good, or it's like, man, y'all should just kind of.
But I was gonna say, be it if he makes a Sinners 2, I'm really excited to see what he's gonna come out with for the years to come.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that he'll be my next Quentin Tarantino. How I looked at Quentin Tarantino, you know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Look, cinematography and all that shit, I'm all for it. And like,
he been producing fire so far, bro.
Yeah, he really has.
Hey, you seen the Creeds?
I haven't seen there's 3 of them, right?
I
Yes.
think so.
I haven't seen the 3rd one, but
But
yeah, they
those are
cold.
pretty good. So it's like, man, he's got, you know,
Same
a
thing
great
with the
bright
Black Panther
future.
movies.
Seen Black Panther. Yeah.
So is it safe to say for both of y'all, because it is for me, is he, are Coogler movies now a automatic go, despite what he makes, or do it depend on what he make?
I feel like Coogler is kind of filling the spot that Spike Lee had.
yeah,
Like,
I
as
agree
far
with
as directors, I wish we had more Cooglers and more Spikes.
Of course.
Because it's not fair that we only have one that we can go to. You know? Michael B. Jordan. Not Michael. Who am I thinking of who directed Get Out?
Jordan Peele?
Yeah.
that. Yep.
I would hope that
I like
eventually,
Jordan Peele's movies. They're weird as hell,
Right.
but I like them.
I would love it to be where we're having arguments about who does better with these kind of movies, Coogler or Peele. You know, I would love to have those kind of discussions. I want more films like this from Coogler.
That's what I was gonna say. If we can continue to get movies that's on this same type of level, bruh, for the years to come, man, he gonna be that next.
But I
nigga.
also would like Peele to do the same thing so we have some kind of, you know, conversation with these.
Some variety.
Yeah. Not just one side being like everybody's being heard this way. I want it to be to where, you know, you do watch one of these movies and you think, this was some fucking bullshit. How they gonna talk like this? How they gonna act like that? And then we have that argument too. You can't always just have movies
So-
with praise.
A fun fact also as well, he has not unprecedented, but a lot of people made it out to be. I mean, for black people, I guess it's unprecedented. But a deal with this movie where he gets some of the revenue off of the top,
Nice.
and he fully owns the movie after 25 years, I believe, which is unusual because a lot of times when movies are produced, the studio owns it
Right.
perpetuity forever. So
Yo, my dude is only 39 years old, man.
yeah, and he made a great deal like that. So
That's crazy,
he's
right?
gonna
Right.
be here for years to come, hopefully,
Right.
and continue creating great works of art like this. And
So let this be a message and a memo. 25 years from now, when they should be releasing special editions of this movie, everybody should be buying it the fuck out.
yeah,
By
I was curious
four.
about that. I was like, man, what media forms will we be using then?
Right.
Because I would like to support it. Because like even DVDs is like
Yeah, it's getting.
So how do
kinda
you
scarce.
get a copy? I guess a digital copy. I guess in 25 years we're gonna see. But I was thinking
Right.
about that too because I want to support, obviously.
Right.
Especially when the bread going straight to him. Like, hey man,
Here you go.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. But 25 years, who knows what's gonna be going on? But
Right.
we'll stay tuned to it. But it's a memorable enough movie to where, for sure, when he says, "Hey y'all, go cop my movie" or whatever,
We
it's
coming.
in my head strong enough to.
I'm
go
definitely
support
going to
like
go
that.
see his next couple of
100.
films.
All right, y'all. So this has been a long discussion, review, rambling
Yes.
about Sinners. If you stuck around this long, God bless you.
You a real one for that.
If you fast forward to the end, that's cool too.
You fake for that.
But hey, man, the joke, 2 hours, 26 minutes, man. It's a long little joke.
Man, eat it in bites. Take it in chunks. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
I like that.
You know what I mean? Like,
Eat it in bites, huh?
you know, like during your lunch break, watch a good chunk of it. Then go back to work. You know what I'm saying? Eat your cheese sandwich, as Bernie Mac would say. And hell, when you stuck on the toilet, it's a perfect video to be going back and forth to every now and again when you're stuck on that thing.
Right.
Hope your legs ain't asleep.
Yes,
You know what
sir.
I'm saying?
So,
But yeah, the type of people that's going to watch this whole entire 2 hours and some change is people that probably have already seen it
All right.
and that rock with it just as heavy as we do. And I feel that there's a mass of people out there that rock with this movie like we do.
Right.
yeah, they've
You know
been
what I
trying
mean?
to discredit it, mainstream media to a degree. Of
Yeah,
saying
they have been,
the
right?
profitability and da da
They
da.
always do.
Yo,
But
they've
the
been-
people have
they always
spoken. The
do
ratings
that.
are crazy high. It is what it is.
They've been saying shit like Sinners has Hollywood afraid, like almost as if they're trying to make Sinners out to be like attack towards.
I mean, technically,
Something.
it kind of is.
It
Because of
it's
it-
an attack on Hollywood.
Yeah, it
is.
ain't even. Yeah, it's like from an independent perspective. Of course, he produced it with Warner Brothers, but his own IP. It ain't like
Yeah.
I ain't had to get this from nowhere else.
Right.
You know? It's an interesting conversation around that. but
And the
it's
fact
like-
that it's kind of him spitting in Hollywood's eye, like, I'm sick and tired of you people coming into my neighborhoods and stealing our shit and trying to, you know, make money off of it and still make us look bad in the fucking process. Like, screw you guys. This is what you are. Enjoy.
Yo, Ryan
Interesting.
Ryan Coogler, is that how you say it?
Coogler.
Coogler. Ain't he the same dude that tried to cash like a crazy amount of money at a bank and they arrested him because he was black and he was trying to
No,
No,
I think that was
that-
a
is that
black.
not-
There's a rapper by the name of Black Youngster that shit happened to.
Word?
Because he tried to
Okay.
like cash out a whole big check, like $500 million or something, and they're like, "Oh, we can't do that."
$500 million. Calm down. $500,000.
No, yeah, $500,000.
Okay.
Yeah, $500,000.
Say relax.
Yeah, it was
relax.
$500,000. That's right. And they were like, "We can't really cash this check." And yeah, they called the cops, and he made a whole scene out of it.
it actually was him.
Black Youngster, or
No,
Cool?
the dude, yeah,
Oh, shit.
the director, yeah, it was him.
Oh shit.
They arrested him because they.
See, we can't do nothing.
But
man.
anyway,
We
we've
ain't do
gone long
nothing,
enough.
man.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Till next time. If you want to see some more movie reviews, might not be this long because everything ain't this layered in this deep, so
Right.
it don't require this level of attention and detail.
And if there is a movie you want us to review, leave it in the comments. We might go and watch it, or we might talk about it.
Yo, Lilo and Stitch, whatever, man.
You're all that. Till next time. Peace.
Peace out.